Don't choke.
Welcome everybody to the official first episode of Arc of Wrestling, where we recap the week in wrestling. I am your host, Greg Alvarez, and joining me today will be your regular goofs who will be joining us every week. We got Jonesy.
Yo.
Strike.
Yo.
Hunter.
Yes.
Mike.
Hello.
And our Mexican point of view,
What's up?
All right. Every week, we will recap the events of Raw, Smackdown, TNA Impact, Ring of Honor, and the pay-per-views, and the occasional superstars in NXT, and talk about the news of the week. For our first episode of Arc of Wrestling, we will recap this week in wrestling and have a very special discussion where we will talk about how much wrestling has changed over the past 20 and 30 years. Joining us for the discussion is the reviews editor for 4Player Podcast, Joseph Christ.
Wait, this is called Arc of Wrestling?
Yes.
I had no idea. Okay, I had no idea. Hi!
Arc of Wrestling is, well...
The arc of wrestling is long, but it bends toward being buff.
That.
Sorry, that's a...
And
Never
Arc
mind.
of Wrestling means, what does it mean?
Attitude Reality Cast.
That's right. Alright, and you can watch 4Player Podcast every night around 9 p.m. Central Time over at 4playerpodcast.com/live, where you can watch these guys play your favorite video games. After that shameless plug, let's go and start off this show with the recap of the Raw Super Show. So, we start off Raw with CM Punk coming down to the ring, limping, hurt from the following night of Night of Champions, in a match against his still reigning COO of the WWE, Triple H, and agreeing with The Miz and R-Truth about their conspiracy theory in the WWE. I believe that Punk is going to join Miz, and what's so fucking funny?
We're recording. Go, go, go.
Okay,
Keep going.
so I believe
Come on.
Punk and Truth are going to be joining with Punk. That could just be my opinion. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
that's yours, definitely.
You think that's going to happen?
I don't see it that way.
That would require
see
Punk to
that
turn
making
heel.
Yeah.
He's playing the tweener perfect right now. They're not just going to flip him heel.
Okay. That's so pretty much Triple H comes down the ring and agrees with Punk that he deserves a world title shot, making the match at Hell in a Cell pay-per-view a triple threat match for the world title with Cena and Del Rio. Punk believes someone else is screwing him. He believes someone above the ladder is causing him to just get screwed every week. This causes Johnny Laurinaitis to come out to fire Punk. Triple H says that Punk isn't fired. By the end of the night, someone will be fired. This was a pretty good promo. I mean, of course, what?
It was alright, but every Monday night, Punk's coming out first. Just keeps getting... He's doing the same exact thing. It's kind of gay. Just saying.
So what you're saying is that he needs more variety in the people
Yep.
that he's...
Can't be this stale.
For the past, what has it been? I think it's for the past month now, Punk has been going against Triple H in all these promos. And I think he does need to speak with someone else. I think a good promo with Stephanie McMahon or just with someone else, like Sean Waltman, who's been rumored to come back. You know, have something new come up.
Wait,
because
who's coming back?
Sean Waltman, X-Pac.
Oh.
So I
haven't
have
heard
a
that.
quick question
Yes.
about... So I'm looking up some of these people as you're mentioning them. So I'm looking at Punk, as he's got like a whole bunch of tattoos and stuff. Is that the guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is is he a high flyer? 'Cause he's really small.
He's
He's a very technical
He's a very
wrestler.
technical wrestler. He's a straight edge person. He's been portrayed as a straight edge person his entire career.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I mean, considering how big modern wrestlers are, he's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Joseph, you haven't watched wrestling for a while. A lot of the wrestlers have gone down in size.
Have they really?
Yes.
I wonder if there was some of all the rash of wrestler deaths over the past 10 years that they kind of pulled back on.
Yeah, they've stiffened up their, like, steroid program, so... Because that's what they used to be on steroids or something like that.
Well, I remember, I watched, like, Triple H left for a long time, and then he came back at one point, and this is going back, like, maybe 6 years ago, and he was ungodly huge. I mean, it was, like, fucking gigantic. And, yeah.
Because
it's
I
kind of
believe around that time he was doing Mr. Olympia, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I believe
I don't
so.
know.
He was working
Hosted
with.
it.
Yeah, he was posing in it. So
Mhm.
that was probably one of the reasons why he was so huge. But a
Right.
lot of the guys, they're still 6 foot. I mean, probably
Yeah.
They have big guys still, but
they still
it's
have big
just
guys, but they're not like Hulk
not
Hogan big,
numbers.
like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
Right.
The thing now with big guys is that I think since CM Punk and like all these little guys start coming in, and they're like, people are starting to realize that they're more exciting to watch
Well,
than big
I think
guys.
what happened is probably part of that is the increased popularity of like UFC, and those guys are not big guys; they're more technical guys. And I think probably WWE is it WWE now, right? Is what they're
Yes,
called?
it's called
Yeah.
WWE.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're probably trying to follow that kind of model a little bit more.
Actually, that brings up an interesting point about something that happened not so long ago, which was Triple H, who is sort of actually taking over the company backstage too. He made some little comments about MMA and UFC, saying that MMA and UFC needs to evolve, not the WWE, which was a pretty ignorant comment, considering UFC and MMA is doing better than they are.
Right.
Well, he was asked that like at a conference. Like he had to answer the question, and he's not going to say that MMA is better right now than WWE since
Right.
he's the CEO. He's trying to promote it, so he's
could have
kind of
said-
got to say that.
Well, he could have said it better. He couldn't have gone away say like, "Oh, we're better than them. Oh, we're just better than them. They have to follow what we're doing."
Well, it's totally different. I mean, it's apples and oranges. I mean, you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
one
that's
is
true.
much more theatrical. It's about the characters and then the storyline and all that kind of stuff. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I love wrestling too, but it's really a soap opera for guys. I mean,
Yeah.
but
I've always said
that's
that, yeah.
but that's the allure. Like it's like it's ridiculous and it's funny, and then they beat the shit out of each other. It's like it's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's the fun part of it.
Yeah, exactly. But UFC is just totally different. I mean, I remember I
It's
started
a
watching.
serious sport.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started watching UFC way back when it started, and that was before they had gloves, and they would just go bare knuckle on each other. And they had to end up moving to using gloves because a lot of states had banned that type of fighting. So for the company to grow, they actually had to incorporate that thing. That's one of the big changes that UFC had to make in order to grow as a company. But UFC used to be bare knuckles, and people used to get their faces bashed in like
Bare
nightly.
Knuckles is fucking hardcore. That's
It used to be bare knuckles. And it used to be bare knuckles, and not everybody was a grappler, which is really interesting. No one did like there weren't really many mixed martial artists. They would have like we're gonna take a boxer and he's gonna fight a guy who's been studying ninjutsu his whole life. You know,
That's pretty cool.
and see
Yeah,
what happens.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. And now you see like everyone's a mixed martial artist, and it's all kind of the same, and it's still fun, but it's not nearly as interesting as it used to be. I think when it started out.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I'm that's off the.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
That's a good point. I think that's a good point. Really, I think that's real good.
So what happened after that, Greg?
Okay, after that,
Like,
okay, getting stale promo. Next, we have the 8-man tag match that includes David Otunga, Wade Barrett, Christian, Michael McGillicuddy against Sheamus, Kofi Kingston,
hey,
Evan Bourne, and Justin Gabriel.
Adam Lambert.
Out of what?
It's Adam Lambert. Get it right.
Okay. Anyways,
whatever.
so Evan Bourne seems to be in the majority of the match, going back and forth against everybody on the opposing team, till he gets a tag to Sheamus. A brawl ignites in the ring. Sheamus finished clearing out the ring as he hits the Celtic Cross on Otunga to win the match. This was, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like a match filler. It seemed like the match was supposed to be Otunga and McGillicuddy versus Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, but they realized they didn't have anything for Gabriel or Sheamus or Christian or Barrett to do, so they made an 8 tag. That's why I saw the match. It was a big filler for all those superstars.
Eight-man tag matches don't last long anyway.
No, it did not last long.
Tag matches are filler.
It was really a small match. It was a really short
They've
match.
always been small matches. They've always been filler. They're always like, oh, let's get a bunch of names and put them together.
They didn't. They
Yeah.
never have like Cena or in Miz Truth versus like some of the other bigger stars in the company. It's usually a lot smaller. The like
Well, that's
Mid-card
usually reserved
wrestlers
for
and-
Survivor Series.
that's true. Survivor Series is
Yeah.
that big where you get that match.
Yeah, you get that 5 versus 5, 5 faces, 5 heels, the big names, and then just
Anyways,
throw them to matches. Anyways,
we cut to a promo. We cut to a promo with the referee talking to Triple H, being concerned of his safety. Triple H says for him to go get Miz and Truth because he wants to talk to them. Del Rio comes in and says Triple H is the worst CEO ever and wants Vince McMahon to return as CEO of the company, which backstage caused Vince to go berserk. Vince was not supposed to be mentioned on TV because he was afraid that it was going to spoil the storyline that's been a stir in the WWE between Punk and Triple H. So, spoilers, if you don't want anything spoiled, skip a couple minutes ahead. Triple H is rephrase that. Vince McMahon is supposed to return and replace Triple
Yeah.
H, is what the apparent story is going to be. And my guess,
Alright.
Vince was supposed to fight Hunter one last time. At my guess, that was going to be a WrestleMania match.
it's still going to happen. I can see still happening, but the thing is now that Del Rio fucked up. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, Del Rio did
And,
fuck up, and for
Yeah,
him
Del Rio
to
fucks up all the time.
and
Okay, I love Del Rio. I love him. Yeah.
you want to like suck
everybody
his
here,
dick.
everybody here knows that. Yeah. Yes, everybody here knows that. But
It's your man crush. It's okay.
He fucks
Yes.
up all his
Wait,
promos. He
what's
fucks them
what's
up.
his name?
Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto.
He's
Del
from
Rio.
He's apparently from Mexico.
With a
He is
name
from
like that, you don't say.
He is,
I was
I-
thinking he was Japanese.
Yeah.
he is the
Oh,
first
nice.
legit ever
I like
Mexican-
the scarf he's got on.
He's supposed to be like an aristocrat, kind of like.
Oh, he's like God, $1 Million Man.
Yeah,
Ted
yes.
DiBiase.
Yeah.
He comes
He's
in.
a Mexican $1 million man.
He comes
Okay.
in.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry.
He comes in with like rented cars.
Whatever.
It's 1,000 pesos, man.
Fine. He's the 10 million pesos man.
Pesos, man. Doesn't market as well that way. Oh, that
That would be
Is that-
great.
I just found a picture of him crying on the bumper of a BMW.
Oh yeah, that was back when Edge broke his car, and he's like, "No, my car."
That's great. See, I love these like really out of this world like these characters that they make up. You know,
Yeah,
like not only like so much fun to watch, but they look like they're so much fun to play. You know, like these guys sometimes the ones that really do the real outlandish stuff just looks like they're having so much fun doing this shit.
Yeah, you can tell Del Rio is having fun whenever he says his fucking name.
Yeah, they just love it. They get to play this really out there personality and
Like R-Truth.
We're gonna talk. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. The audio, the audio was messing up. We're gonna talk about this because I have something to say about this because I believe that the gimmicks that WWE is using today aren't that big as they were back in the 80s with
of course not.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's what I think has lost the major viewership because I think if they had a lot bigger stars, like over the top people, I think it would be a lot more interesting to watch.
Yeah, they want to bring it more down to like real people that you can probably meet like outside wrestling, but really
They have a
it's not that interesting as like people like this
Like
out of
Jimmy-
the box thing is like I don't know like
well, it's like the thing is some of the biggest characters that people remember are these outlandish characters, like Mankind.
Yeah.
Mankind was crazy. I mean, he was so much fun. I remember there was one episode of WWF when they were WWF where Mankind was this crazy person, but they said, well, let's make him like this crazy savant. And there's one episode where he was helping everyone with their taxes.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah, I remember that when he,
Yeah,
he
it was-
just like started throwing money everywhere or something.
Yeah, exactly. And Mick Foley just was really good at making those characters. Then he had like,
Yeah,
you had
Love.
brother, and then you had Brother Love. Remember Brother
Brother
Love? He'd be
Love.
like, I
Oh,
love you, like that guy.
Yeah.
Big boss. The Big Boss Man was fantastic. I mean, he was a really cool character.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter, who ended up going heel and during the Iraq War,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
ended
he
up
joined with the Iron Sheik.
he joined with the Iron Sheik. Remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll talk
I mean,
about that
that's-
later. We'll talk about that
But I think you're right. I think getting rid of those outlandish characters is people kind of lost interest, because if I want to see normal people fight, I'll watch UFC and watch normal people fight for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why people like today, people like R-Truth, that's why he's like so good right now, because his character is just fucking crazy.
That's because it's an original gimmick. Some of the gimmicks of today are basically rehashed gimmicks of the 90s anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Jericho had a phase where he was like this, like R-Truth is like the conspiracy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jericho's just plain awesome, so it's Jericho.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
Following the Del Rio promo with Triple H, we had a match between Del Rio and John Morrison. And simply enough, this match was a squash match. Morrison
Pretty much.
enters the ring and automatically gets beat down by Del Rio. Del Rio works the arm of Morrison, connects an armbar, and Morrison taps, and Del Rio wins the match. That's it. Nothing else happened.
I wish they would make.
Morrison has been reduced to jobber status.
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that he gets re-signed when his contract expires.
No, I hope he breaks up with Melina so he stops being a fucking...
No, I think he's already broken up with her.
You ever did? Oh, okay, that's great.
Anyways,
I think Del Rio's armbar can be a little bit more impressive.
it's a normal armbar. It really is.
Yeah, it needs to look a little bit more
Needs to get a
impressive.
new finisher.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways,
WWE's going to be mad if they let John Morrison go. He's going to be the next RVD if he gets a shot like in TNA.
oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Well,
Anyways, Nets.
okay. Next we have the special guest host for tonight. We had the real Steel Star, famously known as the Wolverine in X-Men. Hugh Jackman was the guest host for tonight. And he plugs his new movie, only to be interrupted by Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler. Vicky says that she's madly in love with Hugh Jackman. Dolph says a couple things, pretty much makes Jackman run out of the ring, picks up a sign from the audience that says Zack Ryder is greater than Jackman.
And Wolverine.
And Wolverine. And pretty much a hint at Ryder versus Ziggler later that night. And that caused... What?
I just have to say that Hugh Jackman really looked like he enjoyed being there.
Oh, yeah.
You have some of these guest hosts that just plug their movies and are just sort of there to be there. But Hugh Jackman looked like he's been wanting to do this for a while.
You had Bob Barker. You had Donald Trump.
God, why are you reminding me of all these bad hosts?
You've had
Do this to me.
so many...
Bob Barker?
Oh, yeah, Bob Barker was a host.
That's a weird combination.
There was just, how many of them were there? Like 50,
There were about
100?
50.
They did this for a year.
56,
They
I
did
could get
this
that
for
number
a
wrong.
fucking year, and it was fucking horrible. I hate it.
There was a
It
host. There was
It
a...
wasn't that horrible.
Which year was it? Was it 2009?
Yeah, it's when it started with Batista.
It started with Batista and it ended with...
Sorry for the alarms there. I live in the city, so
It's okay.
people are getting shot again.
I have gunshots in my backyard.
Greg's getting shot at too.
Shots.
So.
But
So how was Bob Barker? Did he actually get in the shit? Did he actually beat somebody up?
No, he was terrible. They
see-
held the...
See, you know what? Old WWF, he would have beat somebody up.
Yeah, I bet you that would have
Yeah,
happened.
You know,
like David Arquette.
Oh God.
Don't... No,
Why did you remind us of that?
don't...
David Arquette. God, they're really hitting the bottom of the barrel, aren't they?
He was WCW
I
champion.
forgot he was actually there.
He was WCW champion.
What?
Yeah, Joseph doesn't know that.
I don't know this.
Oh.
David Arquette was given the World Championship Wrestling.
WCW World Champion.
Oh.
Yeah.
For like like a week, right?
A
What
month.
was it?
A month. That's right.
What did he do for it? It was like, just here you go. You're David Arquette.
Yeah, well, he started like just showing up at WCW, and then I can't remember who did it, but they
challenged him to a match.
They challenged him to a match, and then
nobody took him seriously.
And then they destroyed the champion, and then they just had Arquette like pin the dude.
Oh,
It was
it's like an honorary title.
That's when WCW like went downhill.
Yeah, that was the start of that.
It was the start of the death of the ECW, WCW.
So
WCW, I used to watch them a little bit when I got back into wrestling for a while when Goldberg was getting big in WCW.
Goldberg.
Yep.
I was a big Goldberg fan for a while.
Who was it?
Goldberg's in my top 5.
Really?
Seriously.
Okay, so let's move on. Next we have Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes entered the ring. The second Sin Cara makes his entrance when Cody enters the ring. Rhodes disappears nowhere. No one saw him leave. Both Sin Caras are in the ring. They're pointing at each other. The big point off, and then they did start brawling.
That was impressive.
You get no reaction in the crowd. One of the Sin Caras drop kicks the other one outside the ring, and then the segment ends. Like,
Just ends.
no one gives a shit about what's happening.
I think the fans are confused about it.
I think they are.
They don't really. If they're not like us, where they actually like go online and look at like what they're trying to do with it. Like the crowd didn't get it at all. Like the two Sin Caras and all that.
They don't.
Well, you
I'm
got
gonna say
people
this.
dressing up exactly the same. Of course, they're not going to understand
I'm
what's
gonna
going
say
on.
that one is
Yeah,
obviously
we can
bigger
tell the
than
differences.
other.
They can't.
Yeah, one is obviously bigger than the other, and one has that like little part of blonde hair coming out of his mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say, who doesn't love? Go ahead, Lynette.
I'm gonna say that that little like brawl off they had, that looked good. I mean, they didn't fucking botch it, but that's because they both know what they're doing to each other. It's not like the other times where the other guy doesn't know what the fuck Sin Cara is doing because he doesn't know how to do it the American style.
I just want to say, I love a good point off every now and then. It really gets me going.
And we will move on with that. Next, we have another backstage promo with Triple H. Truth and Miz enter his office. They say sorry for their actions last night. Hunter makes both of them pay a total of $250,000 for assaulting an official. Then he throws him in a tag match against Punk and Cena for the main event tonight. And
They made... Go ahead.
No, go.
They made Miz and Truth look like complete wussies.
Well,
Like the Miz is supposed to be big and bad and all this, and all of a sudden
Outspoken.
This
outspoken
was
and he's
Miz's
crying.
hometown.
I think that was the whole point because Triple H mentioned that somebody was going to be fired tonight, and they knew they had attacked Triple H the night before, so they didn't want to do anything to upset him and have them be at the top of the list.
It really did make sense for them to act that way. They really didn't want to piss him off. He was already pissed off enough. They didn't want to piss him off more.
So what happened with Kevin Nash? Why wasn't he on the show when he attacked?
He's
Nash
making a movie.
is making a movie.
Yeah,
But
so
that's
they
just
tried-
stupid. He attacks him at the pay-per-view. Then
Well, he got
doesn't
hit in
show
the
up
head
for
with
a
a
month.
sledgehammer,
Really tried to attack him.
Yeah, he did get hit in the head with a sledgehammer. I mean,
and that's what's going to be the excuse for while he's filming the movie.
so anyways,
Yep.
next we see Teddy Long leave the ring as JR enters it to inform everybody he was just informed that there will be a Mark Henry versus Randy Orton match at Hell in a Cell.
Yay!
Yay, we get to see this shit again. Henry comes out, and JR asks his opinion about the match. Henry says he doesn't like ass kissers and chokes JR. Lawler comes out for the save. Henry sends Lawler through the announce table to end the in-ring segment.
That was pretty big because, like, Vince got mad at that also because the table wasn't. He put him through it the hard way, like it wasn't meant to break. Like,
Actually, it was supposed to break, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
It kind of
okay,
broke,
the
but
thing
it
is,
didn't.
okay, wait. The thing is, they were going back and forth with the idea of putting Mark Henry. Well, I mean,
Lawler
Mark
through the
Henry
table.
putting Jerry Lawler to the table, and they decided to do it like minutes before the show started, so they didn't have time to change the table so it will break easy. They do it, and both Henry and Vince didn't want to do it.
No,
Didn't
it was
wanna-
Henry and Lawler. They both didn't want to do it.
No,
Yeah,
Vince
they
didn't
were
fucking
both
do it
upset
either.
after that.
Vince did. Yeah.
Vince was fucking pissed. That was also part of the reason Vince was pissed that night. Because you don't put Jerry Lawler through a table.
Yeah, a legit table, pretty much.
Yeah, you don't put someone through a legit table these days. That fucking hurts.
Especially someone of his stature and how old he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially someone like Lawler. That I don't know. I think he actually got legit injured. I forgot.
Well, Lawler's a pretty old guy. Even a small bump
Just-
probably hurt him.
I'm just gonna say that I don't like Lawler's character, so I appreciate the miss of him one night.
Then we move on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We have the Divas tag match next. The Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natalia versus Kelly and Eve Torres.
That's
Yeah.
fucking.
And
That was-
moving on,
Yeah, screw that.
Yes,
We don't even need to
moving
talk
on,
about that
please,
shit.
Before I fucking puke.
Let's.
That was match of the night. What are you talking about?
I'm not sure if Joseph knows how the Diva division is.
I don't know what the Diva division is.
It's the women's division, but shitty.
good.
It's a what?
Good.
What?
You're better off not knowing.
Is
The
it? Is it?
women's division, the women's.
It's
division?
women's wrestling.
Joseph, think of Miss Elizabeth and Sunny fighting in the ring, jumping off the turnbuckle and like suplexing each other.
But shitty.
Don't you only need to watch that like 5 minutes at a time?
Yes.
That's how long he lasts too.
Those are the bathroom breaks for the real fans.
No, they really are.
Yeah.
They play them off as bathroom breaks.
See, that's weird because I remember, the females would always be the tag-alongs and stuff, and then later, the females started fighting a little bit, but it's an actual like
Division.
division to actually do stuff. Wow, because there was Glow. Remember Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yes.
That was a long time ago in the 80s, and that was sort of like an all-female wrestling thing, which is really nothing more than softcore porn for wrestling fans.
Well,
That's
the
true.
Divas division was really good back in, I want to say 2004, 2003.
Nope.
Yes.
1990s.
No, Divas still suck back
You
then.
had Trish Stratus and Lita in the top, and you also had.
That's just eye candy.
Then you
Yeah, I
also
forgot.
had Terry. Then you also had Jacqueline. Then you also had Molly
Jazz.
Holly. You had Jazz. You had some
Victoria was there.
Victoria.
Victoria,
And
yeah.
You had
Besides
some.
Trish Stratus and Lita.
You had some damn good wrestlers, and they're all replaced with these supermodel bunny Playboy girls. They're just terrible.
Two good wrestlers. And maybe Jacqueline, but that's about it for Divas.
So you're saying Victoria wasn't good?
I wouldn't.
Hey,
No,
Victoria
she's not
Victoria
there.
was good. Victoria was really good, actually.
Yeah, she's still good in TNA.
She's still good.
Okay, so why are we
Who
talking
was
about
good?
Divas
Know
for
who
this
was
long?
good? That just got fired for some fucking reason? Serena. I
What?
have no idea.
I don't even
Oh,
know
Serena.
who Serena is.
She was with CM Punk in the Straight Edge Society.
Oh no,
Fucking
because-
bald chick.
Bald chick.
Because what happened was she got caught drinking. There's a photo that surfaced on the internet, and it broke her image, so they fired her. Whatever. We'll move on. Then we get to see Hugh Jackman talking to Zack Ryder.
Woo woo woo.
I like this
Woo, woo, woo.
promo. For being a short promo, it was really good. Jackman says Ryder isn't an underdog. He's delusional and out of his mind, which makes him perfect for the match. Both of them head to the ring for Ryder's match. So it starts out being Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler. A good match for what it was for these mid-card guys.
Zack Ryder was so over that night.
Yeah, everybody was cheering him. Ryder,
That was nuts.
this better be Ryder's push because Zack Ryder is absolutely one of the biggest names right now in the company.
He's the biggest on the social media network.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's the internet champion, of course he is.
So
If he doesn't get pushed, there's something wrong.
So what happens is Hugh Jackman punches Dolph Ziggler in the face and gives him a hairline jaw fracture.
Nope.
And takes Ryder and goes for a pin, and Ryder wins.
No, that was a fake. That was a fake injury.
I don't give a shit if it's a fake injury or not, Lee. Shut the fuck up. Following the commercial, it starts a backstage promo with Vicky Guerrero and Jack Swagger. Swagger says the video package that was just shown was better than anything Ziggler did the entire night. Vicky says that she is ready for Swagger to join the stable with Ziggler. And while Swagger walks away, she smiles at Ziggler.
That storyline makes no sense to me.
It really doesn't make any sense because they better either put the tag team titles on Ziggler and Swagger, or they have a climatic battle at Survivor Series and they end this.
That's what I think's gonna happen.
That's probably
Or
what's
they-
going to happen.
Or they make Jack Swagger a face.
Or they make Swagger a face. Or no,
You can't have Swagger a face if he's with Vicky.
I think it's gonna be Ziggler. I think Ziggler's gonna have a face turn soon.
But Ziggler's
Eh,
heel. Why would they do that?
So they have this big Ziggler versus Swagger match they've been trying to build up
Needs
to.
to.
Both of them are heels. They have to turn one of them babyface, and the only person that seems close enough would be Ziggler because they would have Vicky go for Swagger, Ziggler getting pissed, Ziggler like attacking Swagger, Ziggler turns babyface.
Could happen.
That's what I see happening.
I see Swagger turning babyface after Vicky actually pleads her allegiance to Ziggler, and Swagger doesn't like it.
Okay.
That's what I see happening.
Okay, now we go to commercial. We go to CM Punk and Cena. This is actually the first time we get to see Cena talk, which is amazing because we don't see Cena take this long of a break during the show. Anyways, they talk about it would be a shame if either one of them got fired. And then we have John Cena and CM Punk versus The Awesome Truth for the main event. It's swaggy time, yes. Okay. Anyways, for being the main event, it was an okay match. Back and forth throughout the entire match. Cena was in the match the entire time, fighting against Truth and Miz. Finally, he makes a tag with Punk. Punk destroys in the ring, hitting the GTS on the Miz to win the match. After the match, Triple H comes out, says sorry to Punk and Cena for in-running the celebration, and then says to Miz and Truth that they're fired.
Here's the thing, though. Why are they going to fire him after they already apologized and get fined? That's why this angle sucks.
Because Triple H is a douchebag.
Because they're building on this entire conspiracy.
They're building up for Survivor Series, don't you think?
They're building up for that, and they're building up for this entire conspiracy theory thing.
Right.
I think it's all gonna end at WrestleMania. We're gonna see this big conspiracy theory come out, being like, "Oh, I was behind all this, and screw all you guys.
It was me.
It was me." That it's gonna be one of those storylines. It was me. It was me all along.
It was
I
me,
did
Austin.
it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
I did it for
It
the
was
people.
me, Mike Adam Lee.
Oh fuck that.
Oh, God.
He's the anonymous Raw GM. You heard it here first.
Yep.
So, pretty much, I believe that was a good episode of Raw. It was obviously saved by Zack Ryder and Hugh Jackman. Without those two, it would have been a lot worse Raw.
It
I
could
don't
have been
know.
better.
I wouldn't go that route.
I'd say it was
Except-
pretty bad. I didn't like it at all, really much. They had way too many promos, not enough wrestling.
Okay,
The little
so
hype at the point where the night was Jackman and Ryder. And that was halfway through the card. That's not good.
going around, what would you guys give it out of 1 through 10? Strike, you go first.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. They
6?
could have improved, and their high point was halfway through the card.
Okay, Jonesy.
6.
6? Okay, Lee.
6.5.
Oh, you
6.5.
pussies. It's a 4.
100 gets 4. Mike.
I would give it a 5 because the Divas match wasn't long enough.
Oh, fuck you.
I would give it a 7.
Oh, you homer. It's
Okay,
okay.
so pretty much it evens up to about 6.5 raw.
No,
Okay,
that's about like a 5.8.
fuck you, Hunter.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Okay, now we're
You
gonna.
didn't even ask Joseph what he thought of the Raw. Come on.
Joseph, how'd you think of the Raw?
I didn't see it. from hearing from you guys, I'll give it a 5. How about that?
There you go.
All right, there we
Give
go.
it a 5.
Now we're
Because
gonna
there were
move
there were no managers getting hit. There were no coffins being burned. There were no managers' daughters being abducted.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
What a
man.
throwback.
and there weren't enough shoulder pads with spikes on them.
Oh, wow.
All
Classic
right,
LOD reference.
we're gonna
Yes.
start off with our favorite topic of the show, TNA Impact.
TNA wasn't bad, except I watched like the last 10 minutes. So
Supposedly, I'm the only one who's fully watched TNA. The game that's
Who
true.
watched-
I don't waste my time on TNA anymore.
I
I
fell
watched
asleep.
one,
All
and
you
that's
have
about
to know
it.
about all you have to know about TNA is that Hulk Hogan is in it, and he's gonna have a match with Sting.
Hey,
And that's
Lee,
all you
shut the
have-
fuck up.
That's all you have to know.
And Vince Russo sucks. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Vince
always
Russo
has.
sucks. That's all you have to know.
Okay, so we start off with TNA Impact. We start off with a promo video of the Sting and Hogan feud. This has been building up for months. Joseph, I'm just gonna repeat that for you again.
Go for it.
Sting and Hogan.
They were mortal enemies, weren't they? At one point.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Starts-
reviving.
Yeah, and you
Stargate
don't
97.
and just
So
remember.
I'm surprised that Sting and Hogan are still doing it.
I'm surprised Ric
Yeah.
Flair's still doing it.
Ric Flair is still doing it. Really?
Flair's still in this
Yeah.
thing.
He's in the same company.
and like Hulk Hogan was never like he was always more of an image type of guy, and he was a force, and and a showman, but he was never really a good wrestler. You know what I mean?
John Cena.
If you've seen some of his Japanese stuff, he was better than what they showed in America.
Oh, was he? Because he was
Yeah.
always just kind of a big lumbering guy. He wasn't like his moves were a little stiff.
He's got like a 5 move set pretty much.
Yeah,
His-
I mean,
his-
you know,
Japan work was better. Same with Andre, I think.
yeah,
Oh no, I've seen his Japanese work. It's a lot better.
really.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Mick Foley Japanese work myself.
Oh, he's
It's amazing stuff.
yes.
Okay.
The
So
death matches and all
Anyways,
that crap.
Who was the old guy that he was doing death matches with? The old
Terry Funk.
Terry
Funk.
Funk. That's the
Yes.
guy. Terry Funk. Yeah. Poor bastard.
okay, so let's
Anyways, TNA.
TNA. So pretty much they're building the Sting and Hogan feud, kind of like the Rock and Cena feud. Only between the
Two of
both
them.
feuds, you see both guys on the show on TNA. Unlike the Rock and Cena feud, that's gonna
So the-
happen.
The Rock's movie career didn't really take off, did it?
Not as much as he wanted.
Did the
I
tooth
finally
did the tooth
realized
fairy
it.
did the tooth fairy not make enough money?
Okay, Joseph doesn't know. The Rock is supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania 28
Uh-huh.
against John Cena, who's supposedly the next Hulk Hogan.
No, John Cena's not a Hulk Hogan character though.
Yeah,
He is a Hulk Hogan character.
Look,
They're
Bill-
missing
Bill-
into it.
He's a Superman.
he is a
But
Superman.
See, maybe I just haven't seen him for a while. 'Cause when I saw John Cena, he just sort of came on the scene for the first time, and he didn't have much allure to him.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah,
this
he
is
was
what
a
happened.
gangster, like
Yeah, I remember that.
The
Okay,
story,
let's say-
the story has it is that Vince McMahon came to the backstage one time and literally said to everybody on SmackDown, "Who wants to get a big push?" Everybody was quiet for the longest time. Then John Cena came up and said, "I wanna," and pretty much it just went off from there.
Really,
Yeah, that's the story I heard.
right?
That story has to be wrong though, because nobody would deny a push.
Yeah, nobody will deny a fucking.
That's a weird. Yeah, I mean, I could see McMahon doing that, but I can't see no one coming forward.
yeah, McMahon's always like the bodybuilder types like him.
Well, see, I can see McMahon doing that because McMahon always he likes to sort of there's an undercurrent of the wrestlers sort of sort of like competing against each other to sort of get those pushes and get that spotlight. And McMahon likes to kind of keep that going and sort of to make them work harder. So I can see him doing that to sort of like kind of put a light of fire under everybody.
Yeah.
That's a very McMahon thing to do.
Oh yeah.
So pretty much what happened. Whoa.
What?
What is that?
What happened?
Someone's having
Hear
background
music.
noise. Anyways, so pretty much what happens is Sting comes prancing out of the backstage with a contract. He asked. Okay,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he's changed his character. Just so you know.
Joseph.
Does he still wear the bodysuit?
Yeah, no.
He's not wearing
Kinda.
white makeup anymore.
He
Oh,
looks
he's
like
the
the
Joker.
Joker. He's being played as the Joker from the Dark Knight movie.
Yeah, he's kind of like a crazy. It's not
He
very
was-
good.
Last time I saw him, he was doing the crow thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't do
stuck
it
with
anymore.
that for a
He
while.
was doing that for a while, but not anymore.
I'm looking at pictures right now to see.
So
See
anyways, what happened was
Joseph.
he calls for a contract. Hogan comes out, said he's not going to wrestle you because he's not medically clear. Sting rolls footage of Hogan attacking him last week and uses it as proof that shows that he can still wrestle. Bischoff comes out, starts yelling at Sting. Sting ignores him and lays him out. Sting taunts Hogan and says that he's going to get his match from Bound for Glory no matter what. Obviously, this match has already been announced. If you've been reading the spoilers, supposedly this is going to be Hogan's last hurrah in TNA
right.
against Sting, because supposedly he's not going to be on TV anymore. He has like this. There's supposedly a show called Hulk Hogan's Micro Wrestling Championship Wrestling, where
Midget wrestling.
midget wrestling, pretty much.
I heard about this. Yeah.
I watched one of the episodes. It's terrible. It's so bad.
But is it so bad it's good, or is it just
No,
bad?
it's just bad.
Really?
I remember he had another one on. I don't remember what channel it
The
was.
celebrity wrestling.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I
He
couldn't
hosted
stand a minute
that.
of that.
Had Dennis Rodman, Diamond, or Dustin Diamond.
It
He's
was,
turning into the next Ric Flair. He's just gonna keep wrestling and wrestling and wrestling for money.
so pretty much we cut to a promo backstage with Karen Jarrett, Tracy Brooks,
Looks.
Brooke Tessmacher, and Mickey James. Karen wishes Mickey and Tessmacher good luck on their match. She tells Tessmacher that she doesn't do her little striptease in the ring tonight, or she will have to deal with her. Karen turns to Tracy and tells her that she told her not to flaunt her cleavage anymore. Kazarian comes out and tells Karen that she looks like a mistress who's in charge of hookers, and then walks off with Tracy. I thought that was pretty funny. And
That sounds funny. I didn't get to watch it.
It sounds funny.
and I always love seeing Tracy Brooks flaunt her cleavage.
Cleveland.
Who
Cleveland.
doesn't?
Boobs. Like,
Cleveland and
because
cleavage.
literally, it's her body, like her face and her boobs are sticking out like 2 feet in front of her.
Okay, so
Her
next.
boobs are bigger than her head.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway,
So just going back to Ric Flair for a second.
okay.
Do you know he was on the cast for the FMV of Command and Conquer Red Alert Uprising?
Was he really?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's.
What did
Just
he
throwing
do?
that out there.
He needs all the money he can get now.
He just played a general.
Yeah, because supposedly he's paying lots of alimony and he needs a lot of money.
Yeah, he's close to bankruptcy right now. He's doing a lot of things
How
to
many
get some money.
children did he have?
He's had like 6 ex-wives or something like that.
Oh, geez. See, that's why get married a third time? I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're I don't know, never mind.
Okay, now we see Jeff Hardy walking in the backstage. He wants to regain the trust of the locker room.
Joseph doesn't know about this,
No.
My favorite method.
I've seen that movie before.
Okay, so
We
anyways,
should probably update Joseph, like how Hardy got kicked out.
Yeah. I remember the Hardy brothers.
okay, Jeff
what's that?
Hardy is a druggie. He's been caught with like marijuana and cocaine about 3 occasions, and TNA
He's been on-
continues
yeah.
to hire him back. And he's been
He's
sent
been
to
on-
jail, and TNA
Really?
bails him out and everything. Yeah. If
But
you
his last match against
Sting.
Sting at what was it?
Oh, okay.
Victory
So what
Road.
happened was at Victory Road, Hardy was like drugged up and he wasn't fit to wrestle. And this was the main event. It was supposed to be Sting and Jeff Hardy. It's been built up for like months.
And it
It's
was
one of their
supposed
biggest
to be a
pay-per-views
20-minute
too.
match.
Yeah, Victory Road is one of TNA's biggest pay-per-views. And what happened is that he was so drugged up that they had to end the match in like 3 seconds in order to bring Hardy back and take him to like the hospital.
Really?
then-
Was he
and
just
Sting-
fucked up? Was he just fucked up in the ring?
No,
Yeah.
like he wasn't. He was
You
just
could
fucked
tell
up
something was
mentally.
wrong.
Not to mention that when Sting did his little death drop DDT, he had to do it a second time because Jeff Hardy fell early.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like I would,
Yeah,
I would look up
Sorry.
I would look it up on YouTube, Joseph. Jeff Hardy, Sting Victory Road.
I got you.
it-
I'll post it.
it's really
I
terrible.
found it. I found it.
Anyways, we have the knockouts match between Brooke Tessmacher and Mickey James. Mickey James being amazing always. This was a pretty good match, actually. Brooke is portrayed as a stripper, but she can move around the ring, which is very surprising.
I watched this match, and I don't know if you watched the same match. Because it was like Mickey James versus an amateur, almost.
Brooke was pretty good. Compared to most of the women we see wrestle in the ring, she was...
Brooke was arguably the same as Kelly Kelly.
No.
Yes.
I do not agree with you. I do not
Yes.
agree with you.
I didn't
You
see the
are-
match, so I can't comment on it.
She sold a lot better than Kelly Kelly.
She sold Mickey's DDT better. That was her best part of the night when she sold that DDT.
That DDT was vicious. It looked vicious.
That's pretty impressive, seeing that nobody in TNA can sell that DDT properly. I remember I watched one match with Angelina Love, and they screwed that up
Angelina Love
badly.
is terrible.
So I'm honestly surprised they can sell that DDT as good as they do.
Yeah. Anyways, we have a promo between Al Snow and Jeff Hardy.
Oh,
This
I
Al
love
Snow?
that.
Al Snow.
God, I really don't watch TNA. Jesus.
Al Snow says that he respects Hardy returning and asking for an apology, and suggests that he starts apologizing from the top and works his way down. And we start off pretty much...
I just want to say Hardy should apologize to me for making me watch the garbage for the past 2.5 years. I want a written apology from Jeff Hardy now. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so pretty much...
Yeah, they turn his character pretty much into like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, guys.
Is he supposed to be? Is he still heel or face?
He's
Face.
probably a face right now.
Oh,
He's
I could not
face.
see him being a heel at this point.
And he'll still suck. So continue.
Okay, next we
Continue.
have the X Division match. And you're going to have to say that, TNA, the only good matches they could pull off are the X Division matches. This was a terrible match.
Who was it?
This was a...
Who was it?
It was,
Who was
okay,
it?
it was Austin Aries versus Jesse Sorensen.
But that's
Hey, that nobody? That guy sucks.
This was a terrible match. It was slow. Aries taunted Sorensen with the football that he brings to the ring. Sorensen kicks Aries with the baseball slide, jumps over the top rope, lands on Aries. Back in the ring, Sorensen is on the top turnbuckle, only to have Kid Cash walk out. Aries gets control over the match, sends Sorensen into the top ropes. Aries botches because he jumps too early, not allowing Sorensen to go under him.
God.
Kid Cash tries to interfere, allowing Aries to drop kick Sorensen in the back of the head. Aries gets the pin for the win.
I feel so sorry for Austin Aries. I really do.
It was...
Yeah, me too.
I couldn't watch that match. I tried skipping through most of it, and it was a really slow match. That shouldn't have been an X Division match.
Yeah, X Division matches are supposed to be are supposed to be fast, just eccentric. You have no idea what's going on, and at least one person in the match should be up in the air a good amount of the time.
Yeah.
That's what the X division is.
But
And
that's what happens.
you're saying it's slow and like boring. That's basically going against everything that X division is for.
I watched the match at the pay-per-view with this Jesse Sorston kid. He's not that good. I can see why Austin Aries had to carry that match.
No,
That's
he's
why it was
not
slow and boring.
He's not a good wrestler.
I mean, Kid Cash had to carry that match at the pay-per-view. Jesse Sorston, wasn't he like on an MTV show? Or was that somebody else?
I know The Miz was on an MTV show.
No, I'm talking about the Sorston kid. Was he on a reality show?
I don't know. I can't
But-
say.
Yeah, but the Miz has bust his fucking ass to get where he's at.
Yeah, but this isn't about the
Yeah.
Miz. This is about
Yeah.
Sorston
same.
kid.
Okay, anyways, we moved to a promo with Ken Anderson and Rob Van Dam. This was not supposed to be it was just a regular promo. I was laughing my head off. If you have a chance to watch this promo, it seemed that Rob Van Dam was just having a good time with this promo. He was so funny. I don't know why he was funny, but
It's probably high.
he was probably high. That's what I was guessing too.
Shit.
They talk about their match against Bully Ray and Jerry Lynn for tonight, and then they talk about their matches against both Bully Ray and then another match that Rob Van Dam's going to have with Jerry Lynn at Bound for Glory. And then we have Anarika, is that how you say his name?
Anarchia.
Anarchia. And Hernandez at a tattoo parlor. Anarchia is getting a Mexican-American tattoo on his chest. When the girls leave, the two men get attacked by Jesse Neal and Shannon Moore.
Oh my god.
Ink, otherwise known as Ink.
Yes.
Also known as the two biggest jobbers in TNA history.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, they're garbage. I will say that.
Shannon Moore has always been a jobber.
Look, I'm trying to get
Always.
through. I'm
Every
trying.
single promotion.
Lee, I am
They
trying.
had Spike Dudley on the show. He's
You tried to what?
I'm trying to get through TNA as fast as possible.
I'm sorry. I didn't start this conversation about jobbers.
Anyways,
No, I-
So yeah, go on.
Anyways, now we have a promo with Jeff and Matt Morgan. Okay, this Matt Morgan was pretty good in this promo. Morgan says he's gonna give Jeff one last chance, and if he screws him one more time, Morgan is gonna be the first, in quotes, motherfucker who's gonna hunt him down.
Wow.
Morgan seemed pretty intimidating in this promo, and I really kind of liked what he did. And so
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you what it was like.
that's why I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Rob Van
The best promos against Jeff Hardy will always be, since he come back, is the AJ Styles one. That'll be the best promo against him ever.
Why? What did AJ say?
Where he told him he almost screwed over the company, and almost killed the company.
That was good.
Hardy didn't kill the company.
Victory Road almost killed the company.
They lost a bunch of fucking money when they did that Victory Road stunt.
A 3-second pay-per-view main event is going to kill your company.
They had to give everybody their money back.
Alright, but go ahead.
Anyway, so
Yep.
they find Rob Van Dam being backstage covered with chairs. It was a short little thing. A cameraman found him. Another promo with Jeff. Now he's with world champion Kurt Angle.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I saw this. I actually saw this, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Kurt says he doesn't want Jeff there. He says that no one wants him there. He wants him out of the building, period. Jeff believes Kurt thinks that he's the biggest threat. Kurt says no one is a threat to him. Kurt
They just want to battle out to see who can be the biggest drunkie in the company.
Kurt heads to the ring and calls out Robert Roode. Kurt talks about Roode's match against Christopher Daniels tonight. Roode says Kurt is the greatest wrestler to ever live. He says no one is stopping him from taking that title from Kurt at Bound for Glory. James Storm comes out telling Roode that he thinks Immortal bought him out, which he states that he came out to confront Kurt. He says Kurt thinks he has a lot of stroke backstage. but why doesn't he stroke his beer bottle? I thought that was pretty funny. I laughed at that.
So is TNA just like the depository for all the fucked up, washed up wrestlers of
Pretty
Yes.
much.
Yes.
Yes, pretty much.
It's there for
Yeah.
two reasons.
That's a good analogy.
It's there for two reasons: the washed up people and the X Division. The X Division was
Yeah.
really
What's
fucking
that?
good, but then for some reason it's been shit for the past year.
X Division is a lot of high flyers. They have
Okay.
really a lot of unique moves. It's pretty cool.
It's like the
It's like the
cruiserweight division.
WCW Cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, James Storm comes. So pretty much, he says Kurt thinks that he. Fuck that. Storm sabotages Kurt's plan and pretty much says that he will always stay with Rude. He says that
Isn't that cute?
that Storm and Rude built the company, which pretty much they've been there since the big start of it. And then the match that was supposed to be RVD and Anderson versus Ray and Bully Ray or Bubba Ray and Jerry Lynn turned out to be a handicap match. Anderson was destroyed throughout the match. Jerry Lynn and Bubba Ray takes turns on Anderson. Anderson gets back into it, but Lynn and Ray double team him for the win.
That sounds horrible.
I was surprised to see Jerry Lynn in that ring. I thought he was never going to wrestle. I thought he retired.
Yeah, Jerry Lynn can't do that.
I thought
Jerry Lynn's been feuding with RVD.
No, that shows how much I haven't been watching TNA.
Oh,
I didn't even know that he was in TNA.
He's been in TNA for like 2 months.
I thought he was one of the backstage assistants or
He
something
was.
for like
He
the
was
past
one of the
couple of years.
backstage trainers.
Yeah, years ago. He was in Ring of Honor like 2 years ago. And then he was just doing indie work until TNA brought him back.
It pretty much. Well, I was surprised that he didn't look all out of shape when he entered that ring. I thought he was gonna look like Hogan or Flair.
I don't know
Oh god,
about that.
Hogan's so out of shape.
Anyways,
Hogan's not that out of shape.
He's old. He's old. He's like 60-something years old.
Look at his fucking gut. Look,
He's still.
Old.
Kind of hard to be a wrestler at 60 and be in shape.
yeah,
Yeah, he can flare segs.
He looks great for how old he is. I mean,
well, I guess. Yes, I guess.
he's like he's like a half a foot fall away from a walker, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he actually is.
Yes. Anyway.
Okay, anyways. Christopher Daniels comes out and says he won't be facing Rude tonight because he has nothing left to prove. He compares Rude to AJ, saying he's nothing like AJ. AJ comes out and says that he needs to get over the win against him 3 weeks ago. AJ asks for another match. Daniel says no. He calls AJ a sore loser and a bitch. AJ snaps. They brawl throughout the commercial. Kazarian comes out to stop them. Daniels kicks AJ's in the balls and walks out.
Heel turn.
They started that heel turn a while ago, but
It's come full circle now then.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense because Daniels shouldn't have been a face to begin with. He's way better as a heel.
Yep. But Styles versus Daniels is always a good match.
Which is,
Yeah, but how many times do you want to see that though?
I'd rather see that than some of the wrestlers they have on TNA.
am I the only one thinking that Bound for Glory is going to be the last pay-per-view for TNA?
No.
It kind of seems like it.
No.
Like they're having all these huge matches, and like they're gonna finally like end this Immortal and Fortune thing, and it's all gonna go out with a big.
Finally.
It's all gonna go out with a big bang. Hogan's not gonna be in charge of the company. Dixie's probably gonna come back. And they're having just all these last-minute matches, like AJ versus Daniels. Rhodes gonna finally probably become world champion. And all this shit's happening, and
Well, it's probably going to be the beginning of a new era.
probably.
Yeah, I think they just want to start moving into a new direction or something like that. Or I think they just really want people to start like, oh hey, TNA fucking exists. So they start looking at them.
Okay, so anyways, the main event of the night, James Storm versus Kurt Angle. This was a good match. This was a really good match. My opinion, I really enjoyed it. It was really good back and forth match. Near falls. Kurt misses a moonsault off the top rope. Brian Hebner, the referee, gets knocked out and doesn't make the pin count for Storm. Earl Hebner comes out to make the count, but Gunner comes out and pulls Hebner out of the ring to stop the count. He hits Rhodes with the world title belt. No, he hits Storm with the title belt. Road comes out and attacks Gunner. Road, why am I saying Road? Rude.
Come on.
You guys are supposed to help me on this, dude.
Amateur hour.
Amateur
I
hour.
don't
right
watch TNA. How can I help?
So pretty much, Rude comes out and attacks Gunner. Rude holds the title in front of Kurt Angle, and the episode ends.
What a
The
climactic
match
ending.
didn't even end.
Cliffhanger.
Both
The
referees
match
were
didn't
out.
even
The
end?
bell didn't even ring.
Wow.
Like, I was really confused at the end of that match. I was like, wait a second, the match didn't even end yet.
Wait, how can you be confused in the TNA main event? After the past 3 years of garbage, you're confused?
That's true.
I would
I
have
like
scratched
this,
my head and said, why would I watch this?
I like this Scott Steiner guy.
Wait, you don't know who
yeah,
Scott
he's-
Steiner is?
Yeah, yes.
I was looking at his pictures. He looks like he's like a pedophile knight.
That's fucking great.
That's
Scott Steiner ever.
Scott Steiner I've ever heard.
You should listen to him cut a promo. That's the
Yeah,
best.
someone show him mathematics. Does someone knows what I'm talking about? The
Oh, he can count. He's a great counter.
Just listen to him talk. You'll just laugh.
chances.
He had a promo with Kurt Angle. They're just talking about how he just says how Kurt Angle is like the greatest wrestler. He's the best and all that. It was pretty funny.
Wow.
Does he get any simpy?
Kurt Angle was like the short bus of the WWF when he was around. It was sort of.
Yeah.
And he's now. I'm looking at this. He's like the world champ of TNA.
Oh, he's 14-time world heavyweight champion.
Oh.
Yeah, he's catching up to Flair.
Of TNA. It's like winning the
Yeah.
Special Olympics.
It really is.
Well, no, because the TNA World Championship wasn't it the NWA Championship?
Yeah.
It was for a
It
while,
was
but
for a while, and
it was when Christian wanted the NWA didn't like TNA not defending the belt in NWA events, so they took the belt back, and that's when TNA debuted their own championship
that's
belt.
right.
The NWA title history kind of sort of goes over to the TNA history. That's why you'll hear them say like Jeff Jarrett's a TNA champion. It's because they transitioned the history from NWA to TNA.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna talk about SmackDown now.
Yes, SmackDown with Booker T.
I barely watched any of it.
Okay.
So.
Joseph doesn't know Booker T is the announcer for SmackDown.
Oh, okay. I remember Booker T though.
Do you remember his rambles?
Well, he was doing the Ultimate Warrior sort of thing.
Yeah, he's kind of eccentric. He's out there.
Look at my dog. Look at my dog in that ring. That's my dog right there.
D-Bra!
D-Bry.
It's that superhero.
He's in my top 5.
Hero T Brian.
Yeah.
He has like 10 people on his top 5.
Yeah, he has like 20.
Okay, hey, Joseph, I put
Yo.
a link to one of Scott Steiner's promos.
Oh,
on
I see it.
TNA.
Yeah. Oh wow, there's two of them with the headdress on. Nice,
Yeah.
The other one's probably P. Williams.
man.
Okay, so
that promo was hilarious.
Start of SmackDown.
start of SmackDown. We start out with Johnny L, Johnny Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, however the fuck you want to call him. The man who seems like he smoked too many cigars in his life. He talks about how he thought that Triple H wasn't doing well, that he was screwing everything up. But then he says that, Hunter, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, my mic set up.
Anyway, so now Johnny says that Triple H is doing good with the company, that he saw resolve and determination in his eyes and hopes that everyone sees when he shows up tonight. And then he introduces Mark Henry, and
Hey, whoa.
it's pretty much like the superstars parted like the Red Sea. Johnny L and Mark shake hands. Mark says he has taken 15 years to earn the title, and it's gonna take 15 more before someone takes it from him. Which is probably wrong because it's probably gonna take like 2 months
Yes, before Sheamus takes that
before
title.
Sheamus or Orton takes it.
Now Sheamus will take it. Fuck
I'll bet
Orton.
it'll be Orton.
Triple H comes out and he offers his hand to Mark Henry. Henry refuses.
Snap.
They have some words. Blah 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 blah. Pretty much, Christian interrupts, and before Hunter could speak, he says that on behalf of himself and the entire roster and the entire world, he says that Hunter is doing a great job as a COO for the WWE. His treatment of the superstars and Smackdown have been exemplary, and he wants to tell Hunter that he appreciates it. Christian is just kissing ass because he wants that fucking world championship.
And he'll never get it.
He will never get it ever again, which sucks because Christian's an awesome wrestler.
When he gets it, he'll just lose it back to Randy Orton.
Fuck that.
After 5 days.
In 5
After
days.
5
No, 2 days.
2 days if
2 days because it's taped.
yeah. Anyways,
Poor Christian.
Hunter puts Christian in a world title match for the night against Henry in a lumberjack match against with the lumberjacks being the entire roster.
I am a lumberjacker. I'm okay. I mean, go on.
Lumberjack matches are so boring.
They are. They're nothing really interesting happens in them. Anyways, match number 1, we have Sheamus versus Heath Slater.
Oh, that's the Battle of the Gingers.
The Battle of the
This was a-
Gingers.
This was basically like a 5-minute squash match, wasn't it?
It wasn't much of a squash match.
It was a squash match.
Because no, Slater did fight back, but
You mean he did a roll up?
It didn't make a difference.
it didn't make a difference. Yes.
That's a squash match.
No.
A squash match.
a
A squash
squash
match is
match-
where somebody has 80% of the offense.
Okay.
That was Sheamus.
If Slater gets in a punch or a kick, that still makes it a squash.
Okay. So, anyways, Sheamus. It wasn't that big of a match. Sheamus wins. A pretty funny promo between Khali and Christian. Christian says, "Oh, I may be small, but I'm smarter than you." But Khali only hears Christian saying that he's small, and so he continues to repeat that Christian's small. I thought that was pretty funny.
And he puts his hands in that motion like you do when you're saying somebody's small in their lower parts.
Got a small dick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not PG.
That's not PG.
You are very small.
So pretty much match number 2 was Wade Barrett versus Justin Gabriel.
Oh, poor Wade Barrett.
It wasn't that long of a match, but I liked it.
I liked it too.
It was sort of neck and neck. But if,
Like I
if the
said-
match was longer, it could have been so much
Gabriel
better.
was there to do his spots. That's what I saw. He was there to do his springboards, his moonsaults, and
Well, that's because Justin Gabriel was a spot monkey.
yeah. Pretty much,
Basically what he is.
Wade Barrett wins that match.
Poor Wade Barrett.
They're trying to do the transition between Daniel Bryan to Justin Gabriel. I think they're gonna. What's so fucking funny, Lee? Please tell me what's so fucking funny.
The thing that Joseph posted.
I will.
Freight train. Come on, freight train's awesome.
Okay.
I'm so in not to sort of stop your conversation, but I've been to prep for coming onto the show. I've been watching like backyard wrestling and like really bad like high school gymnasium wrestling stuff all day.
I used to watch that.
Yeah, and there's some fantastic stuff out there. It's beautiful. It's so good.
You an ECW fan?
That's a little too high, a little too aristocrat for me. I kind of like the North Carolina parking lot wrestling myself.
CCW.
Oh man, have you guys seen Stranglemania yet? Anyone?
I have
Anyone?
not.
You have not. Oh my god. Okay, so all of you need to after this go out and you can find a bunch of the clips on YouTube. But look up Stranglemania. What it is basically, it's Japanese death matches with like Mick Foley and
Oh, yes.
Ric Flair, but it's all narrated by the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh
God.
god.
And the insane ICP. I'm not like I hate ICP, but in this they're really funny because they act like they're the side ring announcers, and they're really funny. And they sort of what I can tell what they did was they put like ICP in a room and put the camera on and put the mics on and said watch this and talk about it. And like so all of their reactions are very natural, but they're really fucking funny. It's hilarious. It's really good.
Well,
Definitely
we're gonna
have
have
to
to
check
look
that
at
out.
that. I don't know, 'cause I'm
They
pretty
like
interested now.
and they're like they call somebody like this is Shamalaga Linglong coming into the thing. This is this is big mushroom motherfucker, and he's there's one like this huge fat guy, and they call him Ponderosa.
Oh,
Oh God.
It's very funny. So yeah, look up Stranglemania. It's
I have to do that.
you can get it on
I wanna watch it
VHS. Yeah, look it up. It's on YouTube. You can actually. The first time I saw Stranglemania, there's this the video store in one of the few that is left in Seattle. But they actually specialize in like really rare stuff. For some of their videos, like you actually have to give them a deposit of like $100. And you'll get it back, but they want to make sure you're not going to run off with it. But I found it there because it's actually pretty rare. But you can find it online as well.
Yeah, I'm looking it up on YouTube right now, and I can see the Insane Clown Posse. Like,
Yeah.
they're all dressed up in like announcer uniforms. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's move on. Okay, Joseph, I want you to search this person up and tell me what you think of her.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a name.
Match number 3, AJ Lee.
Oh god.
A.J. Lee. Oh, that's a G, not a J.
Okay, look her up and tell me your opinion of her because Hunter obviously hates this woman to death.
Yep.
Okay.
How can you hate a 12-year-old? Come on.
Well, she looks like in some pictures she looks 12, and in some pictures she looks 34. So I can't tell.
What is she? I don't know how old she is. What is she?
I have no real opinion on this person.
She's the worst diva in the world.
Hunter thinks that
She's actually good in the ring.
she's really good in the ring. Okay, AJ's really good in the ring. She
At
looks.
least she's not blonde, huge-breasted. I mean, she looks like a normal person. Like she doesn't look like she had a lot of work done.
Just no.
She has no work done.
Which is fine. I mean, that's actually refreshing.
Yeah, her gimmick's the girl next door, and she's
So
like
she's not hot.
Hunter,
I wouldn't call her hot.
I would disagree with that, but
yeah, I would call her cute and probably hot.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, probably that. That's about it.
She's cute.
She's really cute.
That's her gimmick. Cute.
she's not really diva though. I can see what you're saying.
Good.
Like when you think,
Yeah.
when you think diva, you think like super flashy, had like at least $10,000 of plastic surgery done,
Maurice.
has
I
a
like
Mexican.
Kelly.
Has like a Mexican drug lord, like Scarface, sugar daddy,
Maurice.
but she doesn't seem to like. I wouldn't call her a diva. She's more of like a devo,
a
sort of.
woman.
like a whippet sort of thing.
Okay, so pretty much it's a Divas match. It's AJ Lee and Caitlyn versus Beth Phoenix and Natalia.
Poor Beth Phoenix and Natalia.
I didn't watch it. That was my bathroom break.
It wasn't the worst match in the world.
It wasn't.
For what it was worth, it was all right.
It was
compared to what
alright
we normally
match because I was surprised to see that AJ was really freaking good in that match.
Oh, she is good. Like, every single one of her moves is fluid. She could do 5 moves, but she's really fluid in those 5
Yeah.
moves. That's how she is. And Caitlyn's not even that bad either. Caitlyn's decent in her own right.
Caitlyn could be part of the Divas of Doom.
She could.
She could be.
Because she used to be like a strong woman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why she has those leg muscles. She's pretty buff.
Anyways,
The last time I saw Caitlyn, it looked like she stuck her finger in an electrical socket. Her hair was all over the place.
Beth kicks AJ in the midsection when she tries to float over, and Beth with the glam slam for the 3 count. And the winners are Natalia and Beth Phoenix.
So every match for Beth Phoenix and Natalia shall end.
I mean, they always win on SmackDown. They just never win on Raw.
They never win when it counts.
Yeah. Anyways,
They need a counter for roll-ups because roll-ups are like their biggest weakness.
the fourth match we have.
Math?
Shut up.
We're in math right now.
They're doing Scott Steiner math.
We have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for about the fourth time, I believe now.
This was fucking hardcore.
This
Yeah, except you couldn't see any of the hardcore.
I still need to watch this match.
okay, I'm gonna tell.
I don't remember the match.
I'm gonna tell Joseph because
Yep.
Joseph,
Yep.
WWE turned PG not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they were. I remember a number of years ago, they were like parents were starting to complain because they were getting pretty like overly sexual, and they like should be for children, it should be family sport, and you're having huge-breasted women getting abused and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Well, it started to happen when Linda ran for Senate. That's when
Oh,
they the image.
that's because actually I do. You might not know this about me, but I'm a bit of a news political junkie as well. And when Linda McMahon's thing started up, when she started running for office, that became an issue actually for her politically. That
Yeah.
WWE has a they said treats women badly and whatnot. So I'm sure right after that, they probably tried to change there too. And she actually has started. She actually just started another PAC to run again. So she will be running again for political office.
There are three reasons why WWE turned PG, and these three reasons are always argued by wrestling. One is because of Linda, two is because of the sponsors, and three is because of the money that they get from merchandise. Those are the only three.
The fourth reason would be the increasing child demographic.
That's the merchandise, because with the increasing children, you get more money for merchandise. If you can't sell most of the stuff if you're getting focused for, older adults between 18 and 42, because who wants to wear a fucking John Cena shirt?
I want to wear a CM Punk shirt.
Well, you're Strike Blade, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lena wants to wear a John Cena shirt.
So, anyways, the reason why
No, he wants a Del Rio
the
shirt.
reason why I brought the PG thing up is because during the Rhodes and Orton match, what happens is Orton hits Rhodes with his mask, with Rhodes' mask.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't from the mask
ring
that he
bell.
started
It wasn't
bleeding,
the ring
though.
bell.
No, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. Orton hits Rhodes with Rhodes' mask and gets disqualified. Rhodes wins the match.
Okay.
Orton gets mad, and Rhodes goes out of the ring, and Orton hits Rhodes with the ring bell and cuts Rhodes open. Like, this was a serious,
Shit.
like a legit cut. He didn't go with a blade. He didn't go with a blood pack. He literally got hit with the bell really badly and started bleeding.
You could see the blood coming out like a second after he got hit.
Like he had no
Just
time to get a blade out, and
just pouring from his temple.
And the officials ran to give him a towel, but Orton wanted to continue playing on him being busted open. So he DDTs Rhodes onto the announce table.
It was an RKO, I'm pretty
Oh, it
sure.
was an RKO? Okay. That was a DDT.
Yeah, the table.
And this entire time on the televised event, you've got the cameras trying their best to avoid the blood because it's all PG.
But they can't.
And because of the way Rhodes is bleeding, there's blood all over Rhodes, there's blood all over the front of Orton, and there's blood all over the floor and the announce table.
They can't.
They cannot avoid the blood.
Anything else.
And
they can't
when
focus
I-
on anything else because there was no people in that arena. So, what are you going to focus?
What I found funny was
Titantron?
all the officials trying to get a hold of Rhodes to clean him up, but Orton just didn't want them to touch Rhodes. He wanted to finish the RKO on the announce table.
There's not going to be no heat for that.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
Orton. They're not
tweener.
going to do anything.
Yeah. It just seems like WWE is just like PGing and just kind of destroying itself by trying to like I don't know, class up its image. And what was so great about WWE and WWF was that it wasn't classy. Like, what all the best matches everyone remembers are the ones that are like where everyone is just as crazy as possible, or getting hit with a chair 20 times, like the match between Mankind and The Rock. Yeah,
Rock.
I mean that's the stuff people remember, and it just seems like they're just like becoming so uninteresting by their own hand.
Yeah.
I just have to say that. I just have to say that Mick Foley, he doesn't remember that match.
He remembers some of it. If you read his book, he says he remembers like the first 5 chair hits.
Now you can't even. Sorry. Now. What's it called? Now you can't even hit someone in the chair. I mean, someone
Yeah,
in the
it's a
head
fine
chair.
There's no
You get a
headshots
fine.
with chairs.
Really?
There's no
Yeah,
shots.
it's
You get
Yeah.
a fine.
To the head. To the head.
That happened during WrestleMania during the Triple H and Undertaker match,
Really?
And Triple H.
and they both
fined.
got fined.
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
It's kind of, I know I hate to say it, but it's kind of being pussified to the point where it's losing its soul.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how a lot of wrestling fans feel about it. Like, they really don't like what they're seeing right now.
That's the only thing that's really keeping TNA on the map. That it has that edginess, that the
Right.
chair shots to the head, all the blood, the diva, the knockouts.
It's more old school.
Going around flaunting their stuff. The problem is they don't
Right.
have any good, credible wrestlers that aren't washed up and that haven't been part of the company for 13 years
Right.
Pretty
to
much.
make a name for itself. It needs that new blood to put it on the map.
Well, to be fair, the chair shot thing is part of the concussion thing. They don't want somebody turning out to be the next Chris Benoit and having their brain look like a
Chris who?
70-year-old man.
But remember this:
Benoit's who?
Chris Benoit,
Chris Benoit.
and Mick Foley were hit in the head constantly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Mick Foley.
You could
Mick Foley destroyed himself. It wasn't one match. I mean, he made a living out of destroying himself.
you could hit a chair shot to the head, once every like 3 months. But at least do it. It looks devastating when you do it. But if you hold it for like once every year or 2 years, it's nothing special.
And there's ways to do it where it doesn't do that much damage, where you hit with the chair part. These things are aluminum. They're not that heavy. And you put your arms up so it matches the top of your head. And you can still take the shot, and you'll take most of it with your elbows. But it's the sound. It's the sound and the reaction. And it seems real. And that's what's visceral. That's what what gets people excited.
And just get
get
a good camera angle on it, too. Because if you get
Exactly.
the camera angle just right, it looks like you're getting hit in the head, but you're not. And it gets everybody at home like, holy shit, did you just fucking see that?
I know.
Exactly, and the reason people this was the new Gladiator thing, and now if they take away the Gladiator from the Gladiator show, you have, not much else, and they're not really doing much with characterization of these people at this point. So it's like I feel like WWE has sort of kind of lost their flavor, and they're kind of becoming bland by their own hand.
Yeah.
They're forgetting who they were. What brought them to their they're taking themselves way too seriously.
Exactly.
We're gonna talk about this more when we get to the discussion. Match.
I'll be right back in like 2 minutes, guys.
All right. We have Christian and a Sheamus promo. I think all of us said it was pretty funny. Christian pretty much offers Sheamus a potato. This is a stereotype for the Irish being, potato farmers and everything. And when Christian leaves, Sheamus bites the. Wait, hold up.
Yep.
Okay, he bites the potato
Like an apple.
and then he says, "Oh, it's from Idaho."
No, I don't think it was from Idaho.
It's pretty funny. It is pretty funny.
Wow.
God, they're coming up with the corniest jokes now.
Anyway,
I can see
I don't think he
Sheamus
ever
being
mentioned Idaho. I just think he said it wasn't a Irish potato.
no, he
No,
said
he said it was
he
Idaho.
said it was from Idaho. It's right at the end of the promo.
Oh.
Have we talked about Brian versus Sin Cara yet?
Yeah, we are. No, it was Brian and Rhodes. Oh no! That's
Smackdown.
No. Yeah, Sin Cara and Brian. Yeah, that's match number 6. Match number 5 is Great Khali versus Jinder Mahal.
Squash match.
They actually did that match?
Yes.
Here's a question.
Star match.
Here's a question. What happened to Jinder Mahal being a monster heel?
He's a joke.
Like he when he debuted, he was supposed to be this.
I'm back, guys. Thanks.
He was supposed to be this monster heel type
Guy.
who's smart, who knew what he was doing in the ring. He wore fancy suits.
I think
And now-
I think it was because of Del Rio.
And now all of us, but Jinder Mahal is not Latino. He's not Spanish. I
No,
don't.
but he
Indian.
pretty much had the same gimmick as Del Rio.
That doesn't mean you squash his character.
Doesn't mean you pair him up with Khali.
That means you rebrand.
Punishment.
That means you rebrand the character. But the problem is WWE talent is the WWE creative team is stupid and doesn't have the time to rebrand it because they have to focus on John Cena.
I mean, if his
How much concentration does John Cena really need? I mean, let's be honest here. Are you actually seriously saying their writing team is hunkered down with John Cena at this point?
No, it's just a bunch of monkeys in a room.
Look, Joseph.
But I mean,
Joseph, I'm
Yeah.
going to say this. There are actually talks of having John Cena lose at WrestleMania because there are talks of having John Cena win at WrestleMania, even though WrestleMania is going to be in the hometown of The Rock.
But this is just going to be
Just
like
because
when The
if-
Rock faced Hulk Hogan.
Just because if they made him lose, they would have to make him a
Pass the
heel.
torch.
Wait, say that again. You were getting cut off.
Because they said that if they had him lose, they would pretty much have to make him a heel in order to have get his title back.
And why not? I mean, that's
Because John Cena is the biggest draw. He's like the Hulk Hogan. He's getting most of the money. He's getting all the merchandise being sold because of the little kids who are watching the show.
And because he's
John
Superman,
Cena.
all the kids love him.
I guess I just have a hard problem seeing like John Cena as the big money maker at this point.
Let me tell you this, Joseph. John Cena.
I don't deny it. I'm just saying like if that's where we're at now, where the big money maker is John fucking Cena. I mean, what the fuck, dude? Come on.
We're all saying the same thing, Joseph. Don't worry.
We all say the same thing every night, Joseph.
He doesn't do his rapper gimmick. He doesn't do that anymore. He's more of the Marine guy now.
I know.
He comes out with the saluting and then like handshakes all the Marines.
He salutes wrong.
Has he ever been in the Marines? Does he actually have a military background?
No, he
been in
made
a
a movie
movie.
about it, though.
No, but he does the tribute to the troops thing every
Well,
year.
I guess Paul Bearer never owned a funeral home, so it's okay.
Oh my god.
No, the guy who was in the Marines was Randy Orton, and he got kicked out because he's a douchebag. Anyways, let's move
Anyway, we
on.
didn't even finish the Khali thing. Okay, Khali wins that match.
Who gives a shit about Cully?
Anyways,
And these people.
now we have Daniel Bryan versus Sin Cara. Daniel Bryan is the greatest wrestler to ever live.
Except for CM Punk.
No, he's better than CM
Yeah, he's
Punk.
better than CM Punk.
How about they're the same?
No.
Nope.
In terms of technical skill, Daniel Bryan is the best wrestler.
He's
Yeah.
he's got to
Yeah.
catch up to him on mic, but
Oh no.
Yeah.
On mic wise, CM Punk is like in a different universe.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't even know. There's not really anyone you can compare Daniel Bryan to who wrestled back in when you watched Joseph. It's really tough. He's
What's his name?
Daniel
Daniel
Bryan.
Bryan.
Or just look up Bryan
One at a time.
Danielson.
Yeah, look up Bryan Danielson. Don't look at Daniel Bryan.
Look up Bryan Danielson and look at some of his indie work in Ring of
He's
Honor and all that.
probably the most famous indie.
He's technical.
He's the most technical wrestler in the WWE today.
Really? Okay.
He could probably put on a great match with Kurt Angle or Chris
Really?
Benoit if
Okay.
Benoit was still alive.
I don't recognize the face, but sure. He's got a glowing smile.
He's also a vegan and he doesn't have a TV.
Well, is that what it says on his OkCupid profile?
Oh, okay. So, anyways,
Slow clap.
Bryan has been jobbing for a while against Sin Cara. Sin Cara wins again. It sucks because he should be getting a lot better.
Well, you didn't even mention the good part. The second Sin Cara.
No, we don't need to mention that shit.
Oh.
Yeah, we do.
Please.
Yeah,
let
we
us
have
not-
to. It's an important part of the match. Anyways, the first Sin Cara is wrestling Daniel Bryan. Sin Cara is probably about to lose, and then the second
let
Sin
us-
Cara comes out, pushes him off the turnbuckle, and proceeds to beat Daniel Bryan.
Mystico was in first, and then Hunico came out and stole the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's refer them as by their like names. Like one is Mystico and the other one is Unico. That's easier than just call them first Sin Cara, second Sin Cara. That's still confusing.
Sin Cara. Who's Sin Cara?
He's basically a lucha libre wrestler.
Ah, I like
He's
that
in
shit.
Mysterio. He's in
That's
my
Mysterio.
favorite.
In his first couple of months, he already became a big draw, and then because of some medication that wasn't approved by the wellness policy, he was suspended. But because he was such a big draw, the WWE didn't want to drop the character for like a month. So instead, they pulled somebody up from their development territory, dressed him up as Sin Cara, and called him Sin Cara.
No, Hunico was actually part of SCW.
Oh.
Exactly.
That's what I said, development territory.
Yeah, the first one's called
It's
Mystico.
SCW.
The second one is Unico.
But he's pretty much named Botch Cara because he botches most of his matches.
Because he has nobody to work with. I keep constantly saying this.
Holy
gotta-
shit! I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm on the WWE website because I'm like, well, who's and Goldust is still around?
Yep.
Yeah.
Goldust
Does he
is
does he
training
still
the Divas.
does he still actually blow the gold dust in people's eyes to blind them?
No,
Ah,
Training the
Not
Divas
really.
he
right
doesn't
now.
really wrestle anymore.
oh, that's too bad.
He's more of like a backstage presence.
I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. What happened? My chat froze for a little while.
Well,
What happened?
no one cares.
We were talking about
Okay.
how Goldust is still with the WWE.
Oh yeah,
And
Gold,
it's,
isn't he in charge? Isn't he in charge of the Divas right now?
Oh no, he
Yes,
is. He is in charge of the Divas.
I said that like 3 times.
You did?
But here's, and
Oh,
here's.
well, I'm sorry, I wasn't hearing because my chat froze.
Oh,
Anyways,
sorry.
go on.
You couldn't hear us
Go
because
on.
your chat froze.
I mean, like my
Hey,
mind,
come on.
my
Whatever.
Skype froze.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. Go on.
But here's the thing, and maybe I don't mean to interrupt again, but I'm sort of reacting real time to me looking this stuff up, as an old time watcher. So I'm at the WWE.com website, right? And I'm at their superstars thing. I'm like, who's the superstars, And it's just a bunch of normal dudes. Like, there's no masks, there's no hats, there's no like characters. It's just Justin and John and Jim and Gail and
Yeah, there's no
Evan.
gimmicks like we were talking
There's-
about earlier.
There's
Well, Kofi
nobody. There's nobody interesting. Like nobody that really is like, wow, I want to see what this guy's about. Like I want to be a fan of this guy. They're just normal, boring dudes.
Well,
Except for Skip Sheffield. This guy looks like he can rape. This guy looks like he can rape a cow.
Although he hasn't wrestled in about what
A
6
year.
months?
Because he
Yeah. Well, there
injured
are-
his
there are-
knee.
There are a lot of cows out there.
He is from Texas, so you never know.
Well,
Yep,
I don't.
yep.
Well, he's from
Man,
Texas. I
look
thought
at
he was
this
from
guy.
Australia.
No, he's from Texas.
Oh,
Texas. Yeah, he's.
whatever.
And
Texas from
Kofi,
Texas, yeah.
Kofi Kingston is supposed to be a Jamaican, but he's billed from Uganda.
Ghana.
Uganda,
No, Ghana. West
Yeah.
Africa.
Hall of Fame.
And he has no accent. Yet he still has the
He
Jamaican
dropped
thing.
the accent, didn't he?
Whatever.
Did
We
he have an
have
accent?
talking about Kofi Kingston. We have a match of Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne, Air Boom,
A sweet transition.
versus the Usos.
The most
The
boring
Usos
tag
is
team on SmackDown.
Hey, I enjoyed this tag match, alright?
It was a good tag match, actually. It was a real tag match, actually.
Even though the
Usos still
the
exist.
entrances themselves were good. Even from those, the match would have been good because each team were completely different from one another. They didn't just walk down to the ring. Evan Bourne and Kofi activated pyros, jumping, however.
The
the
Usos did their
Usos did-
dance.
The Usos did a Samoan war dance. And they just work in the ring together well.
Rikishi
The match
would be
overall
proud.
was Yeah.
The match was pretty good. The match ends with the Usos try for an alley oop into a Samoan drop, but but Kofi counters with a Rana, with a Hurricanrana probably, to Jay, and the Trouble in Paradise to Jimmy. Bourne tags in and hits the Shooting Star Press for the 3 count, and Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne win.
Woo!
Then
I enjoyed that match. If every tag match was like that, the tag team division would not be hurting at all.
if we only
Yeah,
had
but the only
if we only had credible people in the tag team division.
they only have 3
Oh,
teams,
well.
so they can't be that good.
Okay.
Anyways, we had
Anyways.
the lumberjack match between Christian and Henry.
I am a lumberjack. Anyways, go on.
Shit ass match. People just attacked Christian every chance he got. You know, looking at that they put Christian in the match, that they're really trying to make Henry kind of a babyface.
I don't
Even the
know.
Compass-
He just attacked Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. You can't make him.
But then you put him in a match with
Yeah.
the biggest heel in the company. This whiner bitch.
Christian isn't the biggest heel.
And
He's
I don't-
not the
he-
biggest
on
heel.
SmackDown-
He's a shitty
on
heel.
SmackDown,
He's a
and he
whiny
follows
heel.
Henry. He follows Henry. He is the biggest heel following Henry in SmackDown.
If they were
Well,
trying to turn
well,
Henry to
obviously-
face, they wouldn't have him kill Jerry Lawler.
Mark Henry is not the biggest heel. Christian is.
No, okay.
Christian is the top heel. Then it's Mark Henry. Then it's Wade Barrett.
Mark Henry is the monster heel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark,
Yeah,
they
there's a
tried-
difference.
They tried to put Mark Henry over Christian as a heel. That's what they tried to do. They didn't try to make him face. They tried to make him a bigger heel by beating up this heel. The
That doesn't
worst
make
way
sense
possible.
though. Why would you beat up a heel to become more heel?
You
To prove
destroy
it
that
doesn't-
heel.
To say he's a monster.
Destroy it. You say
He's
a
the
monster.
best.
Whatever.
Say he's the best.
Henry wins.
Wait, a good point. Since he is a monster heel, I really like this part of the match. But when Christian was trying to run away or something, and Mark Henry's out of the ring, every single lumberjack just comes in and tries to attack Henry. And he just throws the entire locker room off of him. And then he takes Trent Beretta, some random jobber, and throws him into half of the locker room. So you've got, in 10 seconds, him taking out the entire locker room. That is what makes him a monster heel. That is what makes him believable. And I like that about Mark Henry.
But he's slow
Yeah.
and boring in the ring. Oh my
He's
god.
He is believable. For a monster
Believable,
heel,
but he
that is all you need.
sucks.
It's not like Kane, where they're like, oh, Kane is this big monster heel, but like, he does nothing. Mark Henry actually tries to act like a monster heel.
Yeah.
And
And
there are things, and there are like this kind of things that where he throws everyone around like a fucking ragdoll. That's what makes him believable.
Yeah, and the fact that he can't wrestle all that great, that does not exist. That problem is irrelevant because he is such a great monster heel.
He still sucks.
And
Okay,
after the
What
match,
you prefer?
what?
Sorry. I was gonna say, what you prefer him to the baby face?
I prefer him not to be on my television screen. I just don't like his in-ring ability. I could care less about how good of a monster heel he is. It's what he does in the ring.
He's terrible as a babyface. Did you see him with MVP?
Oh god,
he was the Kool-Aid Man.
was the Kool-Aid Man as a babyface?
Anyways,
But yeah, you can be the biggest, baddest heel in the world, but if you can't wrestle, nobody cares about you.
That's swole chocolate.
But continue, go ahead.
Orton makes his way to the ring and paces around Henry. And then he punches the champion and tries for an RKO. Orton with a drop kick that sends Henry to the floor. And then we get credits.
How do you dropkick Henry to the floor?
Because the dropkick is
Very
the only thing that
carefully.
can get Henry to the floor.
Oh well.
You can try clotheslines all day, but it's
Quickly.
always the dropkick.
Quickly, so we can get to the discussion. What do you guys give this? We're going to go around out of 1 to 10. Strike, you go first.
I give it a 7. It was better than Raw. Some things could have been improved, but overall it was very solid.
Jonesy.
The way it sounds, since I didn't watch it, I'll go with maybe 6.5.
Lee.
6.52.
Mike
I'll give it a 3, just because of
Wow.
the mere presence of too much Randy Orton.
and Hunter.
Okay.
Probably like a 4.5.
And I give it a 6.
You
It
people.
averages to like 6.
You
Close.
people.
Pretty much, it was a 6 SmackDown.
I give it a 1 because there weren't enough rubber bands and goatees.
And I think we should.
Ring of Honor.
No, we're not going to do Ring of Honor. Not this week.
What is
Ring of Honor, 2 matches, that's it.
Yeah, we're not doing Ring of Honor this week. Sorry about that.
Come on.
No.
Yes, let's talk about 2 fucking
We're already
matches.
running a little late on it.
Yeah, we're already running a little late. We have to get to our big discussion. How about we just start it right now?
Sure.
Can we,
No segue.
right.
Straight to it.
Straight to it. Let's do it.
Anyways.
Okay.
this was presented.
So the reason, so for it being our first episode of Arc of Wrestling, we decided to make this a special episode. Well, not really, because we already did 2 podcasts before this, and we failed on both of them.
Didn't have to say that, but
You
So-
failed.
someone dropped their laptop.
Hey,
But
But
from what you said, like one of them is still out there. Or just someone gave up on editing, right?
yeah,
So
I suck at
there's a
editing, I'm
possibility that there can be a lost episode that can come
No.
up.
That can be our episode 0.
that one's not coming up because I messed up a lot in that one.
How did you mess up? It's a podcast.
Yeah.
They started without me, and I was gone, and then I came back and said something that I shouldn't have said.
it's okay. I mean,
What did you say?
I was like, I'll tell you guys later. Okay. Anyway,
No, but no, you have to say it now.
Now we're curious.
God,
He said an
sorry,
awkward-
I was too busy shitting on my dick. I mean,
oh my god. Okay, let's start with the discussion.
oh, sweep it on the rug.
transition.
Sweep. No, I'm gonna tell you guys later. I mean, I can't believe you guys actually don't remember it because
Doesn't count.
you guys fucked with me right after it. Anyways, so for it being our first podcast, we invited Joseph Christ here to talk about a subject I think we all kind of want to pitch in on. We're going to have a discussion about how wrestling has changed over the past 20 to 30 years from 1980 to the year 2011. And
Yeah.
I think a good way to I think a good way to start this off is who has replaced Hogan.
Easy. John
Hogan.
Cena.
Hogan
Do we,
was
need to,
John
do
Cena.
we even need to talk about
no,
that?
yes we do. Hogan was the biggest. Hogan brought wrestling to
On the map.
On the map.
Well,
He
Hogan's been replaced multiple times. I mean,
they've tried to replace him with Ultimate Warrior.
and Stone Cold. Stone
Yeah,
Cold.
The
was-
Rock.
The Rock. I mean, Hogan. Basically, it's not who replaced Hogan, but who took lead of the ship. I mean, every couple of years, WWE chooses a new wrestler to sort of lead the ship. And Hogan was the first leader, which led up to WrestleMania 3, which was one of the largest, hugest live spectacles still to this day. I mean, it was 70,000 people were at WrestleMania 3. It was fucking amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and WrestleMania 3 I think it still has the record for the largest outdoor event or attended event or something like that in America. But I mean, they just do this. They rotate people out, and it's always who's going to take the helm, this year or every 3 years, and that person takes the helm and they do their thing, and then they don't. What's really amazing is about it's taking the helm of wrestling or WWE in particular is sort of a catch-22 for who chooses it, because after you do that, after you take the helm, you can't stay there forever because it gets boring, and you have to get beaten eventually. And you can't really continue after that point because then you're just sort of a has-been. So then you have to kind of move on to do other things and do movies or take drugs and join the TNA. I mean, it's sort of if you look at all these wrestlers that have sort of taken the helm, like Hogan or Stone Cold or The Rock, they've all tried to do something afterward because it's the best thing that can happen to you. but it's basically the end of your career, and you're sort of hoping to make enough money in that 3 years that it sort of becomes worth your while to retire or move on to the other things.
But this is what I say. I said who's the next Hogan because from what I remember, Hogan stayed the top babyface consistently, like throughout most of his
Well,
No,
until he took over NWO though.
he became a heel, and then
No, he became a heel later on, but that's when he became like what 45.
yeah.
I mean,
he was
he was a babyface for a really long time.
Well, you
About
don't
okay.
don't. I don't think you should like underestimate the ability of becoming a heel to spur your career. I mean, that can push a wrestler.
No, it
Become-
can. But I'm also what I'm saying is, I mean, Hogan was what about 32, right? When
I think that kind of revitalized his career when he turned heel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
pretty much.
No one
That-
thought about
that's-
Hogan until he joined the NWO and started wearing those sunglasses, and he's around again.
But then
That's
at least The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin became heel like after a year or like 6 months into their career.
Yeah, they were constantly flip-flopping.
They were
between
constantly
heel.
flip-flopping. Hogan
They're tweeners.
Hogan was a babyface for a really long time. And same
what
thing
it is.
with John Cena. John Cena has been a babyface for the past 7 years and has been the top of the business. He's been
As
the
far-
main guy. He's been the Hulk Hogan. He's the face of the WWE.
But he's not even interesting. God
Yep.
damn it! It's
Which is the main problem too, because
Aye.
the WWE
no one has that charisma. I mean, Hogan wasn't maybe he wasn't the best wrestler in America, but he had fucking charisma like pouring out of his ass like a fucking flood. I mean, he would do like he would you knew what he was gonna do. It was so amazing. Like he would they would this is what happened every fucking time. Okay, every time, and this is what happened. They put the chokehold on Hogan, right? And they put the chokehold on, and he was like, and if I was in person right now, I would do this for you because I can act it out very well. So I'll try to describe it really well while I act it out by myself. But they put the chokehold on Hogan, right? And he seemed to pass out, okay? And they do the thing, the referee, where they lift your arm, and it drops, right? For Hogan, they would lift it, and once it would drop, right? They lift it twice, it would drop, and everyone would be like, "Oh my God, is Hogan done?" And they lift it a third time, and it would stay up, and it would stay up, and it would start shaking. It would just start shaking, and the crowd would go crazy. And then he'd throw them off him, like he'd throw them down onto the ground, and he'd get up, and he'd do his little like, "Can I hear you?" thing, and he'd look at his adversary, and his adversary would always be the same thing. They'd be waving their arms, going, "No, leave me alone, Hogan." And he'd destroy them. He would destroy them, and everyone would be like up in their seats, and it was amazing. It was theatrical. It was wonderful. It was charismatic, and it's why Hogan was Hogan. Because he did that sort of thing.
that's
And-
You're referring to
look,
the
Cena?
You can make
Cena has done the same
a leg
thing.
prop.
Cena
One at a
has done the
time.
same thing. Cena was always put into a headlock, and then he would do the same thing. His arm would drop, his arm would drop again, his arm would be up, he would send his opponent to the ground, and then he would do the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then he would pick the dude up and throw him into the FU. That's how
The 5 moves of doom.
the 5 moves of doom. Cena ends his matches with the same 5 moves.
Tackle, proto blitz, 5-knuckle shuffle, FU. There you
You
go.
think
Attitude
someone
adjustment.
would, like, catch on to that
Although they've
eventually?
had to change that, now it's the AA.
It's the AA or the STF.
That's not because it's not very PG.
I just want to say Cena needs a finger point and a head shake to make it look very believable. He needs to get on his knees and point and shake his head and then start hulking up.
Yeah,
As he runs
he
around
is
the
that
ring.
close of
Here's
being
the
like
thing.
a Hulk Hogan.
Here's the thing that I'm seeing missing from our discussion, and I will admit I haven't seen a lot of WWE recently, but from listening to your discussion and then looking at their website, looking at the wrestlers they have, they've lost their sense of showmanship. Has sort of been taken away, and I don't know who's responsible for that. Do you think that's so? Here's my question to you guys: do you think the lack of showmanship is management trying to be more like UFC, or do you think it's the wrestlers themselves that are just kind of feel embarrassed about that kind of thing. And a side note to this, that doing that kind of thing, like doing the showmanship thing, putting the feather boas on, or dressing up like the Undertaker, putting makeup on your face, I think for some of these guys, it's a little bit difficult to get over the barriers of doing that in public, in front of thousands of people on the television. In relation to that, I watched an interview with Goldberg a while back about how when he first started appearing in wrestling, he was he was a football player for a long time, and then he entered wrestling, and he talks about how he was really embarrassed about going out with those little black underwear, and he did not want to do that. He wanted pants. And the management said, no, you have to wear these. And he was really embarrassed, and he didn't want to do it. And he ended up, of course, doing it. But that sort of made me think that a lot of these guys have to deal with sort of the reality of, I'm going to go out in front of, thousands and thousands of people. And do you think there's embarrassment on the form of the performers and the wrestlers, or do you think it's management sort of trying to keep a lower tone and everything?
Joseph, I would say one thing. Look up a person called Zack Ryder.
Okay.
Well,
he is what you've been looking for in the new WWE. I've been wanting to say this. I've been wanting to say this because he is a big charisma guy. He has charisma coming out of him. He's your like Jersey Shore dude, but he's from like Long Island.
Yeah. So I'm looking at pictures of this guy right now, and this looks like the old wrestling, the exciting, I'm going to wear stupid shit and I don't care because it's funny and it's entertaining wrestling, But like when I look at the roster, he's one of maybe 3 guys that are doing that, Yeah. And everyone else is just like, I'm just a dude trying to be cool. And it's, I don't know. And I kind of agree with you guys, how we said before, how that lack of showmanship is sort of what's making it kind of boring for people. And like I said before, and I think my main point overall is that, if I want to watch real guys fight, I'll watch UFC, watch real guys really fight.
Yeah.
If I watch WWE or WWF, as I know it, I want to see, like these really charismatic, out of this world characters in this grand, retarded soap opera, like Undertaker and Paul Bearer and Ultimate Warrior and the Legion of Doom and Demolition and Big Boss Man and just all these crazy characters all put in this giant melting pot, to make this wonderful testosterone fueled sweaty stew, that's just so cool to watch.
Really,
and it
really
just, and it seems to be gone, and
it's
I'm
missing.
It's
You can
probably
definitely tell.
really, I couldn't say it better. That was pretty much my thoughts right there. Like,
I mean, look at
right
these
there.
names, like
That was beautiful.
John Laurinaitis. Who the fuck is that?
Oh,
John Morrison?
it's Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace. He was a wrestler, but he's
Like Jack Corpella, like Even Bourne and Josh Matthews.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Matthews is a commentator.
I know, but I don't want to see these people. I want to see like the Log Splitter or like Big Dick Dudley or
Yeah.
Giant Sam
Big
or
Johnson.
Yeah, well, you did have Big Dick Johnson, who was like a male stripper who was like 300 pounds, and he would just pop out randomly.
That's awesome. That's what I want.
I think the problem mainly is they're afraid it's not going to catch on with the younger audience. So they don't want to try something that's not going to catch on.
But think about it this way.
It worked. It worked in the 80s. Kids love it. Kids love that shit.
Jimmy Hart. They need someone like Jimmy Hart.
Mouth South.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, give these guys nicknames to work with.
Jake Snake. I mean, the Brutus Beefcake. The Barber of the Brutus Beefcake. I mean,
Yes.
Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah. I mean, like, we can pull these.
We need crazy names, yes.
I mean, think about it. We can pull these names out of our ass. We just know them. They're part of our DNA. I mean, are we really going to remember Santino Morella in 30 years? Matt Stryker? Are we gonna remember Matt Stryker? That's a fucking porn name. For Christ's sake.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't like what's happened to my beloved WWF. It just seems like they're taking themselves way too seriously, and they forgot
that's
that
the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
this was
Thank
really about fun and everyone having fun. And we all knew it was kind of bullshit, but it was fun bullshit. And it was like these guys, we knew it was kind of bullshit, but we knew we couldn't do it because these guys are great athletes. I mean, things they did in the ring were things we couldn't do because they just, it's amazing the way they flip themselves around and throw themselves around and do all this kind of stuff. And plus they had the theatrical thing going for them. It was a wonderful experience in all fronts. And it just, I don't know, man. It just it seems they're trying to be UFC, and until and they're not going to be UFC, and they shouldn't try to be UFC because UFC has them beaten every way. They need to be themselves and be crazy and be creative, and that's I don't know, man.
Yeah, creative team has dropped the ball this
Seems like
generation.
it wasn't even that long ago. I remember, like, the year 2000, Mankind was still doing his thing. And that was, 11 years ago. I mean, that's not that long ago. I mean, it seems like in the past decade, WWE has kind of lost their foundation. They've sort of lost.
They just take themselves too seriously.
I don't think we can say it better. They take themselves too seriously now.
Joseph, let me ask you this, because I've been meaning to ask you this. When was the last time you were fully watching WWE/WWF, and what was the reason that made you stop watching it?
Okay, it's gone on and off. I first started watching when I was a real little kid. Hulkamania and all that kind of stuff. I actually had the Hulk Hogan workout playset. He had that.
Oh my god!
If you look up on YouTube, you can find the commercial. But it's really cool. Okay, with like Hulk Hogan wristbands and a headband and little weights and like one of those things like you squish in your hand to like make your hands or something. Like that. And then it came with a little not a videotape, an audio tape that you put in your thing, and it would be Hulk Hogan like helping you to work out and egging you on and like, yeah, I'll do it, you little fuck. And I had. And actually, that's actually how I started. I work out a lot. That's actually what started me like into the whole like, oh yeah, working out kind of feels good, type of thing. So I started growing up and started like, just you kind of lose interest in things and you move on to other stuff. So my freshman year of college, I was hanging out in my living room I rented a room in a big house in Pennsylvania. So at a college called York College of Pennsylvania. I later transferred out because that college sucks. But anyway,
Okay.
this one, it's actually this. What's funny is this sort of goes into something else. I had also hadn't been playing video games for a long time either, and I sit down and my roommate is this guy. I forget his name now. He had glasses and long hair. He kind of looked like Weird Al a little bit, but he was number one. A gamer, a big video gamer, and two, a wrestling fan. So I started hanging out with him, and he got me back into both. And two things got me back in. Number one, Goldberg got me back into wrestling. I saw Goldberg for the first time, and I was like, "Well, this guy's cool, man. He's got great entrance music. He's got the spear, which is a great move. They got a great they have a great thing about him, like this undefeated thing he's got going on. I thought it was a great promo for the character. I thought that this is really fun. It's kind of
Intense.
Yeah, it was very
Piece of
intense.
shit.
I liked this thing, and he was like, wow, like this guy's Jewish. He's like a Jew that can kick fucking ass.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he was Jewish.
Like if this guy was alive in the 40s, the Nazis wouldn't have had a fucking chance. So, and he also was a big gamer, and he got me into Final Fantasy Tactics, which got me back into video gaming.
Wait,
so
Goldberg was a gamer?
no, my roommate.
Oh.
Goldberg was the game.
Yes,
He played-
Goldberg got me into Final Fantasy Tactics. So it's kind of a thing. So that got me back into it there. And then later around, I kind of stayed with it at that point. And then around 2000, me and a good friend of mine, one of my workout buddies, what we call the Wedge, he was into it. So we used to go on Monday nights and we would watch Monday Night Raw at the local bar and get drunk and eat chicken wings and watch. And then I kind of faltered after that to a degree. So I haven't sort of been watching much wrestling since about 2000, 2001. So I've kind of missed the past 10 years or so.
That's okay. You've missed pretty much
Nothing?
a crappy generation of wrestling.
That's saying, I've missed the downfall of the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't help the fact that most of the writers now are soap opera writers. They've come from reality TV.
No, yeah, they WWE has been announcing that they were hiring soap opera actors or soap opera writers to write for
Right.
their show because they thought it would make a lot more interesting storylines.
Yeah.
My head hurts just from hearing that.
No, that's good.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No.
that's what we need. That's what that's what it was like, dude.
No,
like
no,
Miss
it's set-
Elizabeth,
it's
Miss
set-
Elizabeth has an affair with like the Ultimate Warrior, so that makes like like
Savage.
Thing is, that's silly. That is silly. That's silly stuff. Soap
That's-
operas right now are not really that silly. They're like taking themselves seriously too. And
So
even
do
though
you
they're
think
fucking silly
it's
too, but
upset?
But look, this is the problem I have. It's
I don't know.
you're trying to do that kind of angle, this affair kind of thing in a PG where they're not going to do that affair angle. You know, they don't want to make kids saying, "Oh, your parents could get in an affair and break up." You're going to make kids
the
really
PG.
sad.
Yeah, the
it's
PG is what's really killing it
it's killing
from
it.
being what it used to be.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. It's just I don't know. I mean, like, do you think a lot of that? I know we talked about that a moment ago, but I mean, I don't think that it's a sponsorship thing. I don't think it's a merchandising thing because I think even if you have non-PG stuff, kids love that shit. Kids love blood and people beating the shit out of each other and affairs and sex. I mean, you're telling me a 12-year-old kid doesn't want to see a big-breasted woman on the fucking ring like gyrating? I mean, fuck yeah, they want to see that. That's gonna sell some fucking T-shirts. This has nothing to do with money or ads. I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with like ads or merchandising. A lot of this, I think, has to do with Linda McMahon's political aspirations. I think that's what this is. She has dreams of herself being in political life. And WWE has been a detriment to that, how it's been. And I think a lot of this is that because you can't tell me a 12-year-old kid doesn't want to see a gyrating, big-breasted blonde on TV and is not going to buy a fucking T-shirt of that. I mean, that's what's
I couldn't agree with you more on that.
The kids want to
Yes.
see that. However, it's the parents that are always having the problems.
Are you telling me like a South Carolina dad's going to tell his son he shouldn't be looking at the TV right now?
I'm going to bring
No,
up...
a California that's going to tell his fucking kid to stop watching that.
I'm going to bring up the Katy Perry Sesame Street thing.
What are you talking about?
Where
How does this relate to wrestling?
No,
Random.
it relates
But
to
it
what we're
relates to-
talking about. How parents are really afraid that their kids are watching these big-breasted women doing these things. Katy Perry flaunting, not that much cleavage on TV on a Sesame Street show. Like, kids are gonna realize that her boobs are almost popping out. No, they're gonna fucking look at Elmo and be like, hoo 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 hoo, I like Elmo.
Well, actually, if I'm a kid, fuck Elmo.
No, think about it. They're like 5-year-old kids watching it. It's cooties when it comes to girls.
5-year-old, I agree with you there. 5-year-old kids don't really know what that shit is. They don't care about that.
No, the parents are gonna be like, ooh, like kids are gonna get boners when they're watching this.
I don't
Yeah,
know
but,
about that.
But a parent, if they're watching Sesame Street, a parent 90% of the times will be watching it with them. You know what I mean?
We're talking about Sesame Street. I mean, 5-year-old kids are not watching the WWE.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They're,
They watch it when
Probably.
Cena's on.
You see him in
they're,
the crowd.
if they are, they're watching Cena be Superman. They're watching him get beat up for 30 minutes, overcome the odds, no-sell everything, and pick up the win. That if 5-year-olds are watching, that's where that's what they're wanting to watch.
And Joseph, I know you don't believe us, but if you went on YouTube, just spend like 30 minutes of your time watching John Cena matches. You're gonna understand.
If you watch 30 minutes of John Cena wrestling, your eyes might burn out of your head. Just saying.
Yeah.
From
Good
anger and just shit wrestling.
Really? So here's what's interesting, okay, as well. So I'm at of course the WWE.com, and there's two there's Hall of Fame and alumni, okay, and where are they now under superstars, right?
Yes.
And the Hall of Fame seemed lacking to me for whatever reason, so I went to alumni, and it's really funny that they have the Ultimate Warrior and alumni, but not Hall of Fame, considering
Because the
how
Ultimate
much
Warrior is there. He's having problems with Vince McMahon. Like they're in like some big argument.
I know. I've been and lots of problems with Hulk Hogan and stuff. But it's just interesting the people they have moved around. Like Jake the Snake is like alumni, not Hall of Fame, but he's got a big crack problem right now. So I guess that's
Yeah.
No, like some of the guys, like Owen Hart should be in the Hall of Fame. Jake Roberts should be in the Hall of
Chris
Fame.
Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame.
Chris Jericho's not in Hall of Fame.
Well, because he's not really done
Jericho's still
wrestling
sort
yet.
of an active wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah, Jericho's not even 40 yet. I don't think he's still got
No,
plenty
he's
of
40.
years.
He's at least 40.
I don't think so. I think he's like 38.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
He's
he's still got
on
some years.
touring with Fozzy right now, so.
I
Yeah.
forgot about Tug. Oh, Randy Savage is not in the Hall of Fame.
No, but I think this year he's
He
going to be
should
put
be.
in.
Yeah, Macho
Yeah,
Man's
this year.
obviously getting in this year.
Because Vince McMahon and Randy Savage weren't on good terms or something.
They
They
actually
apparently just.
No, because Randy Savage saved us from the rapture. So
right before
He did.
He did.
But I am happy. I'm really happy they have the Bushwhackers here. I love
Oh,
the
man.
Bushwhackers when I was growing up. I love the Bushwhackers.
those Rockers are good. But I believe Randy Savage came to good terms with Vince right before he died. That's what I was hearing, that they were talking again.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why Randy Savage was in the WWE All-Stars game.
Well,
He finally
Yeah,
come
and
to
he had a
terms.
promo too.
That might have been more of a THQ thing, though, because THQ had RVD, and the latest Smackdown game, RVD went to TNA like a month later. So
No.
that might have been a video game.
RVD was in TNA for like a good 9 months before that game came out.
yeah.
You have to remember
But
as well that shortly after Savage's death, a lot of people were coming forward saying, "Oh, we were on good terms at this point," including Vince McMahon, including Hulk Hogan. Everyone was sort of trying to get in on that window. I don't know how much you want to put into, how much clout you want to put into it, but Ultimate Warrior has put out multiple YouTube videos talking about how that's all bullshit, and how Hulk Hogan's, a lot of his stuff is all lies and stuff. Honestly, I think some of this is Ultimate Warrior trying to be viable again to a degree, but
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get attention right now.
oh yeah, definitely.
Because, like, no one knows about him anymore. He's like a washed-up wrestler to pretty much everyone else. He has to get attention some way.
Yeah, I mean,
He used to be a personal speaker, believe it or not.
he was awful. I've seen videos of that. Have you seen videos of that?
Of his speaking appearances?
Yeah.
Of his promos,
no.
those are gold.
His
Promos?
speaking appearances later. He would go to colleges, and he would talk about how like being homosexual is wrong and against like God's will, and it was pretty ignorant.
Against the way of the warrior, Hulk Hogan.
He'd be like queer and don't work. Maybe like what?
I gotta watch him now.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Bad stuff. Because I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
All right.
Okay. And so, I mean, now what I kind of want to speak about is the kind of the wrestling style, because remember back in the 80s, going up to the turnbuckle,
Slow pace, really slow pace wrestling.
it was really slow pace, and going up to the turnbuckle was very risky. It was, if you went up to the turnbuckle and hit a move, it was like the oh my god, like what's about to happen moment. But now going up the turnbuckle is kind of like a general thing. Like you have to do it in a match.
You don't have to.
You don't have
It depends
to,
what kind of wrestler you are.
Yeah.
but you have to know how to get up
Now
on the
you have-
turnbuckle. Like back then, it was kind of just like a specialty. If you want to do it, you could do it. And
Yeah, but then all these high flyers came back, and then now you have like a whole bunch of people that do that like
it all
5
started
times.
with I think it all started with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Well, what about Macho Man? That was his finisher.
But that was just an elbow drop.
Yeah, that was just an elbow
Yeah.
drop. Marty,
Yeah, well,
the
that was-
Rockers really put going on the turnbuckle like
Then
to new
yeah.
limits.
Shawn Michaels just started fucking flipping around doing moonsaults.
The
Razor
Rockers-
Ramon.
The Rockers are always will be
yeah.
one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
The Rockers will always be the inspiration for tag teams like the Young Bucks and the Hardys and
Generation Me.
yeah. Well, it's the Young Bucks, but they'll be the team that set the standard for high flying tag teams
And high flying in general.
of this
Yeah.
past. Well,
Because but before then, all you had was Randy Savage go up on the top rope and do that elbow. You didn't really have anything else, that was major going on the top rope. And then you had the Rockers come in, do their their amazing flips, and it just really put high flying on the map. And a couple years later, now you have like these new generation of stars coming in, going on the top rope.
You have to remember actually the Rock's. Who was the Rock's relative?
Rikishi.
Yeah, no.
Superfly, Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, Superfly. He did a lot of
Yeah,
top
that's
rope
true.
stuff.
I forgot about Snuka. Thanks for
Top of the
reminding me.
Cage, one of the most
Snuka did a
famous.
lot of stuff top rope. So
Top of the cage.
Even
I just wanna-
Rikishi. And Rikishi was a big guy. I remember him like doing like a splash on top of
We were
Val
talking
Venus in a
about
cage
earlier.
match.
But that was
No,
one movie.
Vader. We were talking about Vader
did
earlier.
fucking moonsaults.
Yeah, Vader. Doing moonsault.
What time is it? I just want to put out that I disagree that the Rockers put the high flying on the map. I think it's honestly the Lucha Libre style. It was introduced in the ECW and WCW with the older version of Rey Mysterio and Psychosis, and
But remember,
moving to
ECW
Guerrera.
didn't come in until the 90s.
but that's
Yeah.
what put high flying as a whole on the map. Because you had guys showcasing that style all the time. You didn't have just two guys showcasing it in one match of the night. You'll have maybe like 3 cruiserweight matches on 2 shows during the week, or 2 cruiserweight matches on 1 show at night. And that's what led to WWE trying to adapt that style. But you see what happened to that.
Good point.
They had a midget kill that division.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah, but the cruiserweights are what put the high flying aspect of wrestling on the map.
Well, does Joseph know about Hornswoggle?
I don't know about Hornswoggle.
He's pretty much like a little leprechaun.
He's a midget
Oh, nice.
who destroyed the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who won the title,
won
held
the
it for like
cruiserweight-
6 months, and then they just took the
Tell you
title
what,
away.
it doesn't matter how big you are. If you can be limber, you got it.
He's not limber.
He's not limber at
Oh.
all. He has like a tide pool. He has a tide pool splash. He goes on the top rope, lands on the dude, and then goes for the 3-pin.
Okay. Think of him like Wee Man, but on a leprechaun costume and jumping up the top rope.
So what you're saying is there's still hope for me and Nick to get into professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Nick.
Is Nick into wrestling?
Scrawny.
Nick is not into wrestling.
Okay.
Nick is into really bad horror movies.
Because we were wondering if Nick was interested. Because I asked Carlos if he was interested, and he said no.
In fact, not even a question. Like, let me think about it. It's like, No.
Yeah, like I think I still have the tweet from him. He says no, I'm not interested in wrestling. I'm like, that was really straightforward.
yeah. That's it.
Is David interested? Because I know David makes a lot of references.
David
think-
might be actually. David used to really be big into wrestling. So, I would, if you want another guest, I would say David would be your guy.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've talked to him a few times about it in chat.
Yeah, he's big into it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, is there really? So, what else do you guys want to talk about? Because lots of things have changed over the past 30 years.
Well, I mean, I mean,
I mean,
I
the
think
main
it's just-
thing that
I
has
think-
changed.
I think you said something
Go on.
really interesting earlier. How you said a lot of the wrestlers nowadays are not nearly as big as they used to be.
Yes, they're a lot
Because,
smaller.
Right.
Because
That's because of the steroid policy.
yeah, they sort of come down on that quite a bit. And I think you can't. The elephant in the room of that is how many wrestlers have died in the past 10 years. Is sort of obnoxious. I mean, tons have died in the past 10 years. I mean, a big boss man has died.
The Von Erichs,
Von Erichs.
the Suicides,
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero,
Eddie
the
Guerrero.
drugs,
Chris
Chris Benoit,
Benoit's the big one.
Umar.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the big one.
Umaga, yeah.
Umaga.
yeah. I mean, Randy Savage. I mean,
Yep.
that was a heart attack, but heart attacks can be spurred on by heavy steroids.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like Eddie Guerrero one where he died from a stroke or some shit like that.
That was a
Right.
heart attack.
And
He
a
died
heart
in
attack,
Minneapolis.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that these people are these guys are big and ripped, but they're not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
You know, same thing goes for bodybuilders. I mean, bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders, the ones that get obnoxiously huge, they're not healthy people. They're not, and they die. They die early. They die soon. So I think it's really interesting that WWF and WWE is kind of pulling back on that sort of thing. And I wonder, do you guys think they promoted steroid use early on, or just turned a blind eye?
I would say Vince McMahon. It looked like he used to use steroids. So
Well, when he started wrestling again, if you remember that, and it's like, well, this guy's
He
like
got
50
huge.
and looks good. I mean, yeah,
He
I
still looks
think
good. He's on like
That wasn't
Hustle
natural.
magazine.
I don't think it was natural. I think this was institutionalized to a degree.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, they were under like a steroid trial like in the early 90s. So I'm pretty sure they turned a blind eye to it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because they had Hogan testify against McMahon and all that. And Hogan disappeared for like 8 months because he was on the stuff.
Right.
yeah. Just look at Lex Luger. That guy was.
Oh, you know he was on steroids.
A lot
Like
of them. A lot of them were. I mean,
Look at
you
Scott
can't look at these guys and be like, yeah, well, yeah, sure, they just worked out really hard. I mean,
Yeah.
you work really hard, you can get big enough, but I mean, to get
Not
that
to the degree that they're getting.
exactly. I mean, unless you're genetically enhanced, genetically blessed, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Genetic
look
freak,
at-
like-
look at Rey Mysterio, because I used to watch Rey Mysterio when he was still in Tijuana, over here, and he was small. He was like a little fucking flea jumping around.
He's still a little flea.
then-
He's like 5'6".
No, but wait. He was skinny as fuck. He was like a normal person. Like if you look at him, he's like, that guy's not a wrestler. That guy's just in a ring jumping around. Then he got into like American wrestling, and he got huge. He like for a man his size, he got huge. Like,
You have
those
to-
muscles don't look natural.
You have to take one thing into account though, and the fact is that before he got into American wrestling, he might not have, and this is for a lot of wrestlers. I mean, he might not been able to devote full time to it. I mean, these guys probably have like before they get into like really funded, they probably have day jobs, and they do their 8 hours and they work out for an hour and they wrestle. You know, when they get in WWE or WWF. I mean, they can work out for 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, and then wrestle. You know what I mean? So I can see how some of these guys, once they get good backing and can do this full time, will get bigger. I mean, just because they have the time to devote to it. You know, it's hard to work an 8-hour day and then go to the gym for 3 hours and then wrestle for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you cannot
Yeah,
keep that up
that's
for
a
so
good
long.
point, Yeah.
So I think once these guys have all day to work out, like that's all they have to do, I think you're going to see these guys get bigger anyway. So I would give a little bit of leeway for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
generation compared to that is significantly smaller. There's
I mean, just
Well,
look
I-
at Punk.
I think
Just,
it's again because
I'm
I brought this up a while ago. I think it's just because of the more of the draw that you have to do the turnbuckle stuff. You can't have these big guys go on the turnbuckle, do these crazy, jumps, flips everywhere. You have to have these smaller wrestlers be able to do that, and I think that's why most of the rosters build up with these lot smaller people because the company expects you to go on the turnbuckle and do those those risky moves, and the only way you have to do is you have to be very athletic. You can't just be really big.
Yeah, I just put up a picture for you guys. It's a Rey Mysterio next to Batista, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how much bigger Batista is. I mean, just naturally.
Okay,
What you
okay.
need to see
Joseph.
is these new photos of him, because he is ungodly skinny compared to what he was.
Oh no!
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like he went through major weight loss
Yeah.
in his
It's obvious that he
latest
got off the
pictures.
steroids. It's obvious.
He tried to say he doesn't work out as
He's
much.
like
as
an MMA
No.
fighter now. He's trying
he's
to.
still-
He's
works
trying
out
to,
in
but
MMA,
he's
but
probably
as
not
fuck.
going to.
Who, Batista?
He's still muscular.
Yeah, Batista. I mean, he looks like he's, what, 50, 70 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
No.
He still
Because
looks
he
like
was-
an
I
old
mean-
man.
The pictures I've seen of Batista, he's a huge. He just, he looks like Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War.
Yeah.
That's who he looks like. Yeah.
He actually does.
He looks exactly like Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Actually, if they make a Gears of War movie, they need to get Batista to.
We found him. We found Mark.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, look. I found the skinny Batista shit. Just like,
Oh my god, he looks seriously like an old man in that
It's almost
picture.
sickly.
No, yeah, he looks really old. Like he's gone.
Where is it? Where is it?
old.
Post it in chat.
I don't see it.
Leaves
I
very
see.
slow.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
there it is.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he looks really old.
His head looks big now.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
head
his head
looks
looks-
huge.
His head looks too big now.
Oh God. His biceps
Okay.
are so tiny.
Wait, there was another
He's got-
picture, Lee. There was another one where he was in the not the MMA training, but he was in like a mixed martial arts kind of attire, and he had his like shirt open, and you can see how skinny he
Yeah,
was.
it's still muscular.
He's still muscular. He's lost all that.
Compared
You can
to
only
that one I
keep
just
that up for
posted.
so long. You have to understand, like when you work out, your body reacts. Decrease it. Your body will decrease its body weight depending on what work you're doing. So, if he obviously was working out, 2-3 hours a day with really good supplements at one point and got huge. If he worked that out, brought that down to 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, 1 hour and a half a day, his body's going to react to that. I mean, there's only so much, you're going to lose that muscle.
Yeah. That happened to me. I wish I would have kept working out.
That probably happened to Lex Luger. Look at him. He was extremely buff, and then
that's the picture I wanted. He no
Lex Luger.
Batista.
Oh, I was gonna say, why do you like the picture of Lex Luger?
Hey, who doesn't want a picture of Lex Luger? I put it in my locker.
Okay, you can tell he doesn't work out because he's like, after he had that stroke, he's extremely skinny. It's like he was extremely buff, then he had a stroke, and now he looks like a cancer patient.
Get
Living
a
off the plate.
stroke! Come on.
Give him a break.
You say when you get a stroke.
Yeah.
that
Point.
that asshole, he got a stroke, he got all small. What a fucking loser. Lazy chefs. You say like a little thing like a stroke could keep him down.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh man.
Yeah, what?
So I mean,
Oh.
that's pretty much the big thing. I mean, like again, WWE has really been lacking on their creativity and focusing more on, I think, trying storylines.
Storylines.
Yeah.
They need new storylines. They can't just be doing the same old stuff.
I mean, overall, I think we said it all when we said that, WWE just they've been taking themselves way too seriously, and the reason they've been doing that is obviously because they're trying to compete with the UFC, and they shouldn't be doing that. They should be
It's the wrong crowd.
Yeah, they should be
Yeah.
they be their own thing and be who they were and not forget that. And I think there's evidence that they've sort of forgotten their roots, and people are going to lose interest. Like I said before, if I want to see real guys fighting, I'll watch UFC. If I want to watch, if I want to watch like crazy characters fighting, then I'll watch WWE. But if WWE is not going to provide that, there's no reason to watch it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And that's,
And
I mean,
that's the bottom line. Because Stone
Because
Cold
Stone
said so.
Cold.
I just want a good Skinner versus Gobbledygooker match. That's all I
God.
want.
so here's what I have to say. What do you guys think is the chances of one of these smaller, unknown sort of wrestling, establishments, smaller, maybe even smaller than the TNA, who have that sort of, heavy characterization of their wrestlers and who really embrace that outlandishness, making it big at this point because people are
The
kind
thing
of
is,
wanting.
the thing is that any promotion that's smaller than TNA right now, it's also all like generic people, but those are like real fights. Those are like people in a ring, beating the shit out of
The
each other.
only
with
company
tables.
that's smaller than TNA, but
Ring of
they're not
Honor.
really that crazy, is Ring of Honor.
I think Chikara is
Unless
pretty
we
gimmicky.
talk about Japan promotions, because
Yeah.
then all of that shit is fucking crazy.
I think Chikara is too.
Chikara's good too.
Yeah, but fuck
Ch-
Chikara.
I've been wanting to try.
Chikara's like a comic book type though.
But
It's
that's
not
the
like
interest, at least.
if you want to go all out, like super all out, you have to watch the Japanese promotion DDT because they have a hardcore title in which a ladder has won it, a bowl of water has won it, a dog has won it. Not to mention they have the legend known as Yoshihiko, also known as a blow-up doll,
Oh yes. Oh
who
God.
who
Jesus
can
Christ.
probably outwork John Cena any day of the week.
A
I am
ladder
holding the foot
outlook.
of blow up man.
See,
I mean-
that's what
That's
what
crazy
should
shit we want
happen.
to watch.
That's
So it's funny.
beautiful.
I've actually I've tried to look up ROH Ring of Honor Wrestling, and I get a 503 error. Their website is down.
Oh,
I think it's because they tried to. Are they
They're
starting?
updating your website.
Are they on
Yeah.
there right now?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
finally went on TV like today.
tonight. They went on
Tonight.
tonight.
Okay. Well,
They're probably doing all that.
And they had like 50 minutes of promos and like 2 wrestling matches. It was like, oh my god.
Hey, it was still the best 60 minutes that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Better than
No,
Raw.
I wish I had the channel to watch it though.
Well, you all suck because I watched it. You didn't.
Yeah, that sucks to you.
anyways. So I mean,
Don't blame me for living in the
this
Midwest.
was a
Hey, I live in the Midwest too.
pretty good.
Point is,
I live in the middle of nowhere.
Okay,
Go ahead,
this was a
Greg.
pretty good first episode. I think we've really hit all the points. I mean, Joseph really couldn't say it any better than he could. I'd like
Yes.
to
yes.
thank Joseph once again for joining us.
No problem. I loved it. Got great fun.
If you-
Great fun. It's like I don't get to talk about wrestling with
Oh
anybody.
yeah,
So.
I mean,
Oh,
There you
if
go.
you ever get to
Thank you.
watch any Raw or SmackDown, I mean, they have streams on JTV. I know that for sure when Raw and SmackDown happens. If you happen to watch anything and you want to join us, because we're going to do this every single week, guys, please feel free to contact me, contact anybody, and say, hey, I'd like to join. I just watched this and this, and I want to talk about it. Feel free to join us.
Will do.
Thanks
Will do.
for promoting our podcast on Twitter. Over
you're welcome.
at the Joseph Christ over at Twitter. God,
Do you have a website I can put up or something?
not
No website.
yet, but I will be trying to.
We need to get on that.
Yeah.
We're pretty lazy, as you can tell. We push back the date like 10 times on you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, archiveWrestling.com is not taken, so
Oh.
go grab it.
There we
We're gonna
go.
have to start with a blog
Yeah.
a blog thing first because we don't have enough money to run a website. Yeah,
Right. Let's
Yeah.
get a free one or
Yeah.
something.
with ads and all that.
So I was doing
Okay.
I mean, thanks everybody again. We're gonna return next week with the second episode of Arc of Wrestling. I'm sorry if there's any audio problems during this podcast call. The little
Now let's
recording we
hope
do.
Greg doesn't
Yeah,
drop his laptop.
hope I don't drop the laptop again.
No dropping of the laptops.
And I'll see everybody
No gunshots.
next week. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
What?
Bye, everybody.
Take care, spike your hair.
Later.
Woo, 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 you know it.
Woo, woo.
Woo woo.
Goodbye.
Freight train.